The path to greatness is run with the passion of youth. Those of ambitious hearts, confident minds, physically stronger than others, driven with the focus that propels a young man while still in his teens to the attention of a nation and to the forefront of a sport as a baseball All-American. Fox Sports Net welcomes you to the palm trees of Southwest Florida. We are in Fort Myers at Hammond Stadium, where the top high school baseball talent in America has gathered, a showcase of superb skill. The future is now, and there's no denying the remarkable future that each and every one of these young men offers as we welcome you to this, the FLASHBACK All-American High School Baseball Classic. A very warm night here in Fort Myers. Say hello to Yankees World Series star Jim Leyritz. I'm Paul Kennedy. More than 30 of America's best showcased here tonight. Jim, with this in common, all will be very high draft picks, all heavily recruited, all with unlimited potential.
Well, yeah, we have 38 of the best players handpicked, and it's going to be interesting to see what these kids do. They say 10 to 12 of these kids could be a number 1 or a number 2 pick, and that's pretty impressive.
The kids come from coast to coast, from Maine out to California and Southern California, offering the number 1 pick perhaps in the upcoming draft. Top shortstop in Matt Bush from San Diego.
Yeah, I was able to get out there earlier today and see these guys take a little ground balls and some batting practice. And this kid, as they say, is a 5-tool player, has an opportunity to be a number 1 pick, but he also has a chance to be one of the top picks as a pitcher also. So it'll be, if he can hit, they may leave him at shortstop. If he can't, he can always pitch.
On the West pitching staff here this evening, the starter will be from LaGrange, Texas, a tall Texan in Homer Bailey.
Yeah, he's got a big, tall, lanky Texan, just like the Roger Clemens. He's got a chance to fill into his body. And talking to Omar Washington last night, Omar said this kid has 3 legitimate pitches he can throw for strikes: 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, an 84, 83 mile an hour curveball. And if he can do that, he's got a bright future.
Now, the point needs to be made that he'll be facing a lineup using wooden bats tonight. And normally high school youngsters, of course, with aluminum. But that shouldn't bother the likes of Chris Nelson, one of the better middle infielders in all the South.
Yeah, they say this kid is one of the better ball players. Has really got his head in the game, lives to play baseball. And, they're starting to get used to using wooden bats now. And we should see something pretty impressive, I think, from him tonight.
Here comes the most impressive right-hander in all of baseball, the number 1 ranked right-hander, Nick Adenhart from upstate Maryland.
This is the one I'm looking forward to see. They said this kid is the total package as far as pitching goes, and 94, 95 also. I mean, it's amazing to me how many of these guys throw this hard, and he's supposed to be the best, and we'll see what happens tonight.
And throwing at such a young age, born in the decade of the 80s, throwing now in the 90s, the class of 2004 on display in the AFLAC All-America High School Baseball Classic. Well, the breezes coming in tonight toward home plate here at Hammond Stadium, constructed in 1991 for this inaugural AFLAC All-American High School Classic. Ceremonial first pitch with honors tonight, the little children benefiting here.
And Nicholas Marquito is going to throw first. All right, Nicholas.
Hey, Jim, he's got quite an arm on it.
Very good arm, very nice.
And now up is Logan Knoll. Fire away, Logan.
Not a bad toss
very
there.
good.
Preston Clark with honors. Alan Cryer also throwing out tonight's first pitch. There's young Alan.
Hey, you get a little behind that one.
A little velocity to him. Again, from the Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida and the AFLAC Cancer Center here. All for a worthy cause, and now let's meet the stars who have come from across the country tonight here to Fort Myers. First, the West starting lineup.
Greg Golson, Pflugerville Common, Austin, Texas. Matt Bush, Mission Bay High School, San Diego, California.
Chuck Lofgren, Burlingame, California, Sarah High School.
Tyler Brannick, Waukesha South High School, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
I'm Preston Clark. I go to Rockwall High School, and I'm from Rockwall, Texas.
Trevor Plouffe, Crespi High School, Northridge, California.
Luke French, Heritage High School, Wilton, Colorado. Steve Marquardt, Kennewick High School, Kennewick, Washington.
Joe Dunnigan, St. Ignatius College Prep, Chicago, Illinois.
Football build on him as he faces Nick Adenhart tonight from Williamsport High School in Hagerstown, Maryland. 6'3", 180-pounder and a 3-pitch pitcher with his fastball up there again in the 90s, Jim.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this kid pitch. I hear the scouting reports, and sometimes they're too good to be true, but I'm looking forward to seeing if he builds up to all this thing that they're talking about.
Well, he can throw strikes tonight because the defense behind him, absolutely stellar. That changeup all the way out to the last finger on that right hand.
Yeah, look, like I said, he's got that two-finger grip that he said he throws his changeup with. And, it makes a big difference between his fastball and his changeup, and he had trouble doing it, and now that's what he does.
Here's Dave Schmidt. He'll be calling balls and strikes tonight, along with Rusty Batcher, Rick Sanzone, and Doug Archibald. And after a week stay here in Southwest Florida, our Stars are ready for play. They have worked so hard to get ready for this game.
Oh yeah, these kids, this is a tough situation. You throw all these kids together, you expect them to play, and I think in this kind of a game, the catcher probably has the toughest job because he's never seen these kids pitch. They've got all these different pitches, and he's got to be ready.
So Neil Walker behind the plate with trust of his starting pitcher, Nick Aidenhart, and the leadoff hitter, Greg Golson. And the first pitch to him is a strike. Golson from Conley High School in Austin, Texas, and regarded, as you see, as the fastest player in the class of 2004.
Yeah, talking to Omar Washington and Cecil Espy last night, they both said this kid right here is the complete package. He's probably one of the best athletes, and they think this kid has a bright future and could be one of the #1 picks coming next year, in 2004.
He's been concentrating strictly on baseball over the last year. He run track and played basketball. Here he goes down on the swinging high strike. First strikeout of the night for Nick Aidenhart.
Yeah, these kids are going to see some top pitching. I think pitching may dominate. They said this year in the draft that the pitching is pretty strong. Here's a pitch right here. Catcher set up high in the zone, wants him to throw it up there. Makes a nice high strike. One of the things about a high strike, it looks like you can hit it, but when you're throwing 94, 95, it's tough to catch up to it. Nick
Aidenhart now works on Matt Bush in a duel of what many regard as the top two players in the upcoming class of 2004's draft.
Yeah, this kid out of San Diego, they really, really are high on him. He's also a very good pitcher, but they said he can hit. If he can hit, they're going to put him at shortstop. And like I said, they said he's very, very impressive.
He's a line drive hitter by reputation.
Well, most of these kids, they haven't filled out yet. I was a line drive gap hitter when I first started, and as I got to lift weights a little bit and get some better coaching, turned more into a power hitter, and I think that's what they think about this kid. I talked to Cecil Espy, and he said this is the one kid he wanted in a home run contest, and they didn't put him in it because he thought this kid had the most power.
So 2 balls and a strike from Nick Aidenhart as he works on Matt Bush with Chuck Lofgren to follow in the top of the first. And grounded to short, Brad Emus in the Atlanta area.
Nice little play right there. Guy throwing 94, 93 with a good sinker is going to get a lot of ground balls. And talking to some of the coaches, they think, like I said, Aidenhart is the type of pitcher that's going to get a lot of ground balls and make his defense work.
Chuck Lofgren now from the left side from Junipero Serra High School in Burlingame, California.
Another big kid. One of the things that impresses me most about these kids is how big and how well put together they are for high school, for juniors in high school.
Late swing there. He did hit .475 when not on the hill. And when pitching last year, it was a perfect 8-0.
That's impressive. Like I said, one of those things I mentioned, I was a pitcher in high school also, and because I could hit, they let me continue to hit. And that's what's going to happen to some of these kids. You're going to see some of these kids on the mound eventually that are also good athletes. There's a couple of shortstops in the game that have moved from shortstop to pitching. And like I said, this kid has a chance also to be a pretty good pitcher.
And in addition to that unblemished record, you see the ERA at just over a run with 132 strikeouts.
That's pretty impressive. 8 games and 132 strikeouts. That's pretty impressive.
A California Junior Player of the Year. And lined into the dugout, first base side.
Well, he was my pick to click in the home run contest, and he didn't do me too well, but hopefully we'll see if he can do it here.
A home run contest won by Eric Campbell. Plays on the same squad, the East, as Nick Aidenhart from Hagerstown, Maryland. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Looking to set down the side in order.
Kind of reminds me, kind of has that little Todd Helton stance. A little bit from the Colorado Rockies, Todd Helton. One thing I really liked about watching this kid take BP was the way he used his hands. And now that he sees up, he's using his hands pretty well against a guy throwing as hard as Aidenhart is throwing.
He hit .385 for the USA's junior national team in the World Games. And again, that was an introduction, if not an introduction, extensive use of the wooden bat.
Yeah, well, the wooden bat's a big adjustment for these kids. And back when I was in high school, we didn't even have a chance to use wooden bats. And for them to be able to use them and play a number of games and things like that, nice pitch right there.
The changeup. He strikes him out. 2 strikeouts of the first 3 for Nick Aidenhart. And
go
we're
right
underway.
Nice little pitch.
Nick Aidenhart sets down the side in order. Fans too. Beautiful curveball too to freeze Chuck Lofgren. And now let's take a look at the batting lineup. In order tonight, the East All-Stars.
My name is Christopher Nelson. I go to Reading High School. I'm from Decatur, Georgia.
Dexter Fowler, I go to Milton High School in Alpharetta, Georgia. Hi, my name is Eric Campbell. I go to Gibson Southern High School, and I'm from Owensville, Indiana. Jared Kubin, Oakton High School, Oakton, Virginia.
Hi, my name is Neil Walker from Pinehurst High School, Gibsonia, Pennsylvania.
Hi, my name is Brad Demas. I'm from Samoa, Georgia, and I go to East Covina High School.
Hi, I'm Anthony Russell. I go to DeMatha Catholic High School. I live in Waldorf, Maryland.
I'm Mark Rogers from Horse Island, Maine. I go to Monterey High School.
Jay Rainville. I go to Bishop Hendricken High School. I live in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
You would know just by listening to him and hear from Texas, Homer Bailey, when he flew into town a few days ago, he's wearing a cowboy hat when he got off the plane. That's right out of the Jim Leyritz handbook for travel.
That's right. I used to wear that cowboy hat all over New York City, man. People thought I was crazy, and I said, hey, it's my image. And big tall Texan coming in with a cowboy hat, you got to be a little bit worried when you come in.
And the defense tonight behind him for the West Stars.
Tyler Brannick, Waukesha South, Waukesha, Wisconsin, first base.
Trevor Plouffe, Crespi High School, Northridge, California, second base.
Steve Marquardt, Kennewick High School, Kennewick, Washington, pitcher, shortstop, third base.
Matt Bush, Mission Bay High School, San Diego, California, shortstop.
Joe Dunnigan, St. Ignatius College Prep, Chicago, Illinois.
Outfielder, Greg Golson, Pflugerville Conley, Austin, Texas, play center field.
Chuck Lofgren, Burlingame, California, Sarah High School, outfielder.
Preston Clark. I go to Rockwall High School. I'm from Rockwall, Texas, and I'm a catcher.
I'm Homer Bailey. I live in LaGrange, Texas, and go to LaGrange High School. I throw 3 different pitches. My first one is a 4-seam fastball. It's a pretty common pitch. You just have your 2 fingers on the seams. My next pitch is a curveball, or also known as a knuckle curve. You have pressure on your middle finger and thumb with your index finger up a little bit. My last pitch is a changeup, which you throw with 2 seams. You throw mainly with your ring finger and middle finger, so you can get more of a dropping action.
Very knowledgeable Homer Bailey. That knuckle curve, intriguing.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Yankees, Mike Mussina. Mike Mussina throws the same type of pitch, and it's really a nasty pitch. It has a big break to it, and it's kind of the old-fashioned 12-6.
Remember Bert Hooton? He came out of the University of Texas.
Hooton, yep.
Do that for the Cubs. First offering to Chris Nelson is inside from Rodan High School in the Atlanta area.
And you got to remember the other guy, Nolan Riley, coming out of Texas. This kid probably watched him a little bit when he grew up.
The middle infielder in Chris Nelson. And laced into center field, our first hit of the night.
Going up there swinging the bats. They're ready. It's one of those things that's tough out here. These kids have never seen these pitchers before, and maybe take a couple pitches here to get a look at them. But I'd say, well, you go out there, you look dead red, and you swing.
So he's aboard, and again, Chris Nelson, as you would anticipate, can run. And now his Georgia teammate, Connie Mack, World Series world champions, and Dexter Fowler. Slider outside. Dexter Fowler stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, a blade, and many think that this might be years from now the fellow regarded as the finest player in this inaugural Aflac All-American game.
Yeah, at this age, you kind of look at him, you kind of look at it as a Vladimir Guerrero type body situation. I watched him swing a little bit earlier. He's got great, quick hands, and he has a pretty good idea what he's doing with the bat.
And chopped to the left side, stays fair, and he'll beat that out. Tall and can run, an infield hit for him.
He was one of the guys that was cracking everybody up at the banquet the other night too. He's got a great sense of humor, and they love this kid a lot. Here, just top this one over, try to pull an outside pitch, but use that speed. Third baseman came in, tried to make the play, but too much speed on the bases right there.
So the first two reach for the East All-Americans, and now Eric Campbell, who won the Aflac Home Run Derby. In the third round, he hit 4 consecutive home runs.
I tell you what, he
Boom, boom, boom.
started off slow, but he finished very impressive, and he kind of walked off at that last home run like he was Barry Bonds. And we'll see what he does here. Get some little bit better pitching here.
Bailey out of the stretch. That's low and away. Eric Campbell from Gibson Southern High School. That's in Owensville, Indiana. He was relatively unknown even to most scouts before he cracked 6 home runs at the Wood Bat Senior Championships in July, held in Georgia.
Yeah, they said he was very impressive in that tournament. He hit over 500. He did have 6 home runs, and that's when they said, you know what, this kid's somebody we got to take notice of.
Big swing there.
And as we see right there, he swung at a high fastball. In the home run contest, he was telling Cecil Espy to throw it high, up and in. And when it's coming about 94, 95, it's just a little bit different.
It's not Cecil Espy.
It's not Cecil Espy out there right now.
Former Major Leaguer Homer Bailey will top out in the mid-90s. Will the right-hander. He takes a look at Nelson at second. Fowler off first. And hit to the right side. That'll get Nelson over to third. They get 1-0. And it gets away from the shortstop in Bush. And everybody's safe.
Yeah, that was a tough play right there. I think he kind of had the runner in the way there, the shortstop, and just couldn't handle the throw.
So our first error of the night. Here it comes again.
Ground ball right here. Yep. Oh, actually hit the runner. That's what happened. I had a feeling he was in the way.
It's a tough luck error for Trevor Plouffe at second.
Yeah, well, it's another one of those things right there. But that speed that he has to get down there to second base was too much for them to be able to turn that play.
So where Aiden Hart retired the side in order, the first 3 All-Americans for the East, Nelson, Fowler, now Eric Campbell, have reached for Jared Kubin, the cleanup hitter, here in the bottom of the first. And the kid from Northern Virginia, that came close to hitting him. Even you jumped, Jim.
I'm telling you, I jumped. I get scared, but I got hit by a lot of pitches when I played, and this one looked like it might have nipped him a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Did he get him? I don't know. He might have just nicked his shirt a little bit. He's in a tough situation here. Nobody out. He's in a 2-0 count right here, and if I'm the hitter, I'm looking dead red, and I'm going to be swinging right here, so let's see what he does. Big, stocky kid right here. Like I said, I'm very impressed with the shape these kids are in.
And one of the premier power hitters in this class of 2004 from Oakton High School, and now the count at 3-0.
Well, he's got some pretty good bloodlines. His father was a former NFL player, and you got to figure he's a pretty well stocky kid, and he's just going to get better and better as the years go by.
The runners not being held, the bases loaded to 3-0, and there's a strike. So 3-1 now as Homer Bailey tries to work himself out of an opening jam here in the bottom half of the first.
No line drives now, don't get in a hurry.
And coaching at third, that's Mike Roberts. I got the outside corner, it's 3-2. Mike Roberts, the manager of the East squad. Charlie Sullivan, head baseball coach at DeMatha outside Washington, D.C.
Good hands now, good hands, you're all right.
Over at first. We'll have a mic on him, on his counterpart, Garth Orge, tonight. Here's the 3-2 with the bases full. He struck him out. A huge out for Homer Bailey.
Yeah, big out right there. When you get the bases loaded and nobody out, the key is to get that first. You need a strikeout in this situation. And now he's got a chance to get a ground ball and get out of the inning right here. Fastball, just overpowered him. Strictly overpowered him. You just see his swing was just a little bit too late right there. He reared back and threw that one pretty nice. Now he's got a chance to get a ground ball and get out of the inning right here.
Neil Walker, slugging catcher, in from the left side against the right-hander. Swings and misses at the first pitch. He hit .489 in his junior year for Pine Richland High School. just north of Pittsburgh, did Neil Walker, and that included 5 home runs and 21 runs driven in.
Yeah, they mentioned to us earlier that this was the year of the pitcher, and right now the way these guys are throwing, this kid's really impressive, throwing 92, 93. We got a foul ball there.
Inadvertently fouled, and he falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, these kids, like I said, throwing as hard as they're throwing at this age is something that's very impressive. In this situation, he needs to rear back a little, get a little extra with the bases loaded and 1 out.
See at the bottom of your screen there, coming from Gibsonia, north of Pittsburgh, he only played 13 games in a weather-shortened season.
Well, that's one of the nice things about these events and these kind of games is because kids that are from the north or from the areas where they get bad weather, they have a chance to show themselves here. 15 games or 13 games in a high school schedule, you can't show anything like that, and that's why I think these games are so important for these kids to be able to show the scouts, hey, we can play too. We just don't get to play as much.
Right, Chris Nelson, Dexter Fowler, you see Nelson there, and Fowler at second. They get to play just about year-round living in Georgia. Eric Campbell off first. Here's the 1-2. Line lifted over the glove of the second baseman in Booth, and that'll get 1 home, and it's a 1-0 game.
Oh, he made a good pitch, jammed the guy a little bit, but the infield was playing a double play death, and he just couldn't. Second baseman he just couldn't get back to it.
So just lifted into right. Neil Walker has the RBI to drive home Nelson.
Yeah, that's a situation right there. Like I said, Trevor Blue's playing in, and if he's playing at normal depth, he's got that ball pretty easy. But Trevor couldn't get back on this one. Made a good pitch, got it off the end of the bat, and like I said, you can see right there where he was playing in, and just barely got over his head.
Brad Emus and blocked by Preston Clark. In Texas too, Rockwall is the catcher for the West. And the dossier on Brad Emus.
They said this kid is from day one.
Broken bat over there, stabbed by the first baseman. And Baranek.
Chance at third over here. No. Nice little play by him.
Baranek got it first. I started to say Jim over his head.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to get over his head, but Tyler's a pretty big boy down there at 6'5". It's one of those situations, if I'm over there at 5'10", I may not get that one. But Fowler thought he had a pretty good chance of scoring here and made a nice play and was able to get back in time. Those are the ones you have to judge.
And Anthony Russell now. The bases remain loaded, but 2 are out. Again, that's in the dirt. For Homer Bailey, who allowed the first 3 to reach. Nobody out and fell behind 3 balls, no strikes to Jared Kubin, the cleanup hitter. If he gets out of this with just 1 run on the board, he'd be delighted with that, the way this game started for him.
Oh yeah, you got to tip your hat after the error that they made. Hey, what this catcher's doing a pretty impressive job. He just blocked the first one in the dirt, made a nice little play right there. This, like I mentioned earlier, this has got to be the toughest thing for a catcher, is catching these guys that they've never seen before, never played with.
Preston Clark behind the plate from the Arlington area. Homer Bailey rocks and fires 2-0, and that's a strike.
If he gets out of here with 1 run, I think he's going to feel pretty good about getting out of this inning, just giving up that. And he gave up probably a broken bad hit on the one. That if the second baseman's playing at normal depth, that ball's caught.
And just away, only 1 solid base hit really, and that was Chris Nelson shot into right center to start the game.
Yep, that's it. He's in a situation here right now that he's got a 3-1 count on. And as a hitter, you got to be ready right here. This is the pitch that I'm going to go after as hard as I can.
The Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. Here in the bottom of the first as Bailey fires. And he's walked in a run. It's 2-0. Just missed upstairs on Anthony Russell.
Yep, try to get a little extra there. Same thing, the pitcher knows on a 3-1 count, the hitter's going to be geared up. Try to throw back a little extra and just left it up high.
So Dexter Fowler will score the second run. And here comes Mark Rogers, the 8th hitter. Bottom half of the first. And on the bases, there's nowhere to put him. They remain loaded. A lot of pitches out of Homer Bailey. Something off that in the dirt, and Clark slides over. That is a strike.
It's one thing that we don't take into consideration. Like that catcher's doing a heck of a job of keeping runs from coming in right there. Blocking the balls in the dirt and stabbing those.
Mark Rogers from Maine, as you see, the Maine Player of the Year from Mount Ararat High School, or where's Island, Maine. about 45 minutes north of the city of Portland up there. He'll be a cold weather baseball player, Mark Rogers.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be cold. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty impressive too, his pitching record. 11-1 with a 0.16. Kind of surprised on how many of these kids are both very good, good hitters, good players, everyday position players, but also can pitch like this.
Well, Mark Rogers, who's hitting 8th here, led the state of Maine at the plate. The .565 average, the 2-1. Here's a strike, it's 2-2. He had 14 home runs as well.
There's a coach.
23 years at the University of North Carolina.
He was talking to me today, and he was kind of happy. He's like, "Listen, I got something to tell you." He said,
"Got a better cut than all your BP cuts."
My son's being the leadoff hitter tonight in Yankee Stadium because he plays for Baltimore. His son's Brian Robertson, who's the leadoff hitter right now for the Baltimore Orioles, and he's very happy with that.
Coach B.J. Surhoff too.
Yep.
At Carolina.
Yeah, he ran a very nice program there at the University of North Carolina.
Here's the 2-2. Hey, struck him out. Well, he was touched for 2. The bottom half of the first, but that's it. They leave the bases loaded. 2-0. The East leads the West in the FLASHBACK All-American Baseball Classic. With Jim Leyritz, I'm Paul Kennedy. Delighted you could join us for the AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. Presented by AFLAC tonight. A very warm but lovely evening here in Southwest Florida. Now, Jim, you're wise in baseball knowledge.
AFLAC!
Our AFLAC trivia question of the night. Jim, can you name the last catcher to be drafted first overall in the Major League Baseball entry draft? We will offer the answer coming up shortly here from Fort Myers. But I know Jim Leyritz knows.
Well, I have a pretty good inkling who it might be, but my original guess would say...
Gotta hold on to it.
Gotta hold it, okay.
Write it down, hermetically seal it, put it away, check it out later. Check out Tyler Baranek in now, slugging first baseman for the West squad. Nick Aidenhart, we made mention of the fact that he was the #1 rated pitching prospect in America among rising seniors. He did not disappoint. Struck out 2 of the first 3 that he faced. Set him down in order to get this game underway.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier about Trevor hasn't played a whole lot of games because he did have the mono. And one thing I like about this kid after visiting with him in the dugout a little bit, he uses a 35-inch bat. And as a scout, you want to take a look at that because the big adjustment is to the wooden bats, and to be able to swing, kid with his frame, he swings a pretty big bat, very, very good and very smooth.
From Waukesha South High School in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And Major League body at 6'5", 215 pounds. He missed about close to 10 mononucleosis.
And you got a guy with this kind of frame kind of reminds you of like a Dale Murphy. That Dale Murphy type body. Big, tall, lanky. And he's going to be filling out pretty as he gets older, and that's who I would compare him to. He kind of looks, that's who he reminds me of.
Dale Murphy came into the game as a catcher. Strike taken. Outstanding power potential. And from Tyler Baranek, that Nick Aidenhart, Williamsport High School in Hagerstown, very familiar with.
I like his presence on the mound. He's very confident, very smooth.
And a curveball there for his 3rd strikeout.
Very nice. It's like I said, he seems. They said he was the complete package, and he seems to be.
Boy.
Garth giving a little bit of encouragement there.
Archer spent the better part of his baseball career with the Toronto Blue Jays. All 9 years on the field, but 11 more in the front office and in player development.
Yeah, he really enjoyed being with it. I talked to him earlier. He really enjoyed being with Toronto, and it was a shame that they had when they fired him. He was hoping to be able to stay in that organization for a few more years, and after his career coaching was over, he wanted to do some TV and radio for them. He mentioned, and unfortunately, when they fired everybody and brought everybody new in, they pretty much let everybody go.
And that happens. Welcome to the real world.
Yes, exactly.
Preston Clark, the catcher who impressed you so much defensively, now here offensively, and as we have seen, pretty good package behind the plate.
Yeah, he's got an open stance here. He's got the little toe tap for his timing goes, and when you see a kid like this hit, you realize that everything about his hitting is timing, and he was pretty impressive in BP and didn't do too bad in the home run contest.
Yeah, hit a couple out. A broken finger suffered during practice for the USA National Junior team, setting back about a month this summer. He's back to full health now. The 2-0 on the way, rather than 3-0, and he walked him.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of Mike Redmond from the Florida Marlins. He's kind of that build and kind of that look, and they say he's not, they don't think he's the biggest catcher, but they think he's one of the best that's out there.
Jared Kubin will hold him close to first. Here's Trevor Plouffe. He's charged with an error, that throwing error.
That was a tough error, yeah. It was a slow hit ball. He may have been better off going to first with it, but he tried to turn the double play at second, and the runner got in the way, and he wasn't able to make the play.
From the West Coast, the San Fernando Valley attends Crespi High School in Northridge. About 650 students at Crespi, as you look at his numbers. But despite the error, one of the most polished skill players in the nation, according to Perfect Game and Jerry Ford, who scouts these players so intently. He has the look of a ball player. He hit 500 in his junior year.
Well, that's the one thing about talking to all these kids. You know what? They live and die baseball. And that's where it's gotten to now, as skilled as these kids are at this age. They end up doing just one sport, which I think sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But most of these kids I talked to, they said, all we do is play baseball.
Off the fist to third. Anthony Russell will get the lead runner on the fielder's choice. So he's jammed by Aidenhart, who has allowed only one to reach so far tonight.
I mentioned he was a good sinker ball pitcher, and he was going to get some ground balls tonight. He's doing that. He's letting his defense work behind him. He's doing very well.
Families turning out in support of their young men. But that would include Luke French, designated hitter, as we play under American League rules, Jim, tonight with the DH. From Middleton, Colorado, and the runner going. And he's in there ahead of the tag. Trevor Plouffe, our first stolen base. Neil Walker, catcher.
Yep, that was Neil had a little tough time getting rid of that ball. He got a pretty good jump. He tried to be a little bit quick with it. And when you try to be too quick sometimes, you bounce the ball to second base like he did there. That's one, though, where he stole it on the pitcher, not the catcher.
Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado. Finished third in the state of Colorado this spring, due in large measure to this pretty slick first baseman in Luke French.
Yeah, Luke seems to be put together also pretty well, and he's got the nice stance, good quick hands. Watching him take batting practice, was able to hit the ball to all fields, and that's one of the things you want to see from these kids is being able to use their hands and be able to hit the ball to all different fields.
It's a 2-0 game here in the top half of the second, as Nick Aidenhart misses inside at 3-1.
And he's working him inside. I think he feels that maybe he's got a long swing, short swing, or long swing, slow hands maybe a little bit. He seems to be staying in on him pretty good here.
Well, we've seen the curve effectively. He's already fanned 3. You're at 3-1. Grounded sharply, first base side. Ruben, his only play to first, of course, to end the side. Strong effort so far. Nick Aidenhart, a shutout through 2-0. The East leads the West. The Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic tonight from Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers. And our Aflac trivia question, the Jim Leyritz
Aflac!
swore he knew the answer of, named the last catcher to be drafted first overall in the Major League Baseball entry draft. Jim, unseal the envelope.
I think it's maybe A.J. Pierninsky for the Minnesota Twins.
And Joe Mauer for the Twins. The right organization. Joe played in this stadium, as did A.J. The Orlando area. This is the spring training home of the Minnesota Twins, Hammond Stadium. And we'll greet our second pitcher for the East, and Ken Kasparek. Weimar High School in Weimar, Texas. And you had the organization right.
I just got the wrong guy. I was close.
Coming off a state championship year at Weimar High School. And he appears to be, well, he's listed at 6'10". And he must be considered the tallest pitcher in high school baseball in the country, and certainly one of the best. What a presence he offers on the hill. You're used to facing, say, the big unit, Randy Johnson throwing from the left side. He comes from the right side at 6'10".
Yeah, I saw him last night at the banquet, and I was like, this kid is huge. And, big old boy from Texas, and had that little swagger to him. And when he first came up to me, I said, you got to be a left-handed pitcher. You just have that left-handed pitcher look. He goes, no, I'm a big, tall right-hander, and I throw hard. And, we'll see what he's got right here. He seems to be pretty impressive.
Jay Ranville went on the mound as a very hard thrower, one of the top power pitchers in the prep ranks, and here filling out the DH role, bottom of the order in the 9th slot.
Yeah, they say this kid reminds them of Roger Clemens as far as his makeup goes, the way he's put together.
First pitch swinging, slowly hit toward short. Matt Butch will make the play.
When they're comparing you to Roger Clemens, you've got to be pretty impressed. I got to see Roger's 300 victory the other night in Yankee Stadium, and anytime you compare him to something like that, you've got to be a pretty good pitcher.
So with one out, back to the top of the order for the West squad. First run scored tonight, registered by Chris Nelson.
Our hardest hit ball all night from him, and he came up early last time and swung quick early in the count. Let's see what he does this time.
Ball 1-2 from Ken Kasparic.
Obviously, Kasparic saw that he swung early in the count last time and started him off with a breaking ball there.
Nelson swings here too. He played this past summer 80 games for the East Cobb Yankees in their Connie Mack World Series championship team. The year before, for a club known as the Orioles in East Cobb, he played 100 games. That's after his high school season was over, as this will make the series.
Yeah, that's a lot of games, and that's a lot of opportunities for the scouts to see him, and I think that's why they've been very, very high on this kid. One of the things these kids go from is you go from high school, you maybe play 20 to 30 games. You go to college, you play 70. Then you go from college to the minor leagues where you play 120 to 140. And that's the hardest thing for these scouts to be able to judge is over a period of time, is this kid going to hold up? Is his body going to hold up? And what's the future hold for him?
Pretty bright future for Homer Bailey, who started this game, was solid in the first inning, although touched for 2 runs. He's on the headset down in the west dugout. The 1-2 is inside. Homer, this is the only guy that hit the ball fairly solidly off of you was Chris in that first inning.
Yeah, so it was early in the count, and I think he was sitting fastball, and just like a good leadoff hitter should do, he hit a hard line drive. It was a good pitch, and he just put it in play like he's supposed to.
I figure you got to be pretty happy that, you got another inning, only giving up 2 runs after being put in a situation with bases loaded, no outs. What'd you think about when you were out there?
There's nothing you can do but just try to battle back. A double play could have changed a lot of things. Broke 2 bats, but that's just a game of baseball. You get some breaks, and then you don't get some.
Tell me a little bit. Did you learn that curveball from Mike Messina?
No, actually, I have a pitching coach in Houston. His name is David Evans, and he actually said that is the exact same curveball as Mike Messina.
Yeah, I said when you showed the grip earlier, I had mentioned that's exactly who that reminded me of. I tell you what, you did a pretty good job out there, kid.
Thank you.
Dexter Fowler up now. He scored the second run there, joined by Homer Bailey, Grange, Texas. Got to ask him, in LaGrange they have a farm, a poultry farm. I asked him what he did. He said, raise chickens for the eggs.
There you go.
Chicken farmer in Texas.
You gotta like that.
Where he's going to be able to afford a lot more ranch land, I think, in Texas.
Might get up the roosters now. Roosters are duck even.
Kasparic paints the corner to Dexter Fowler. Dexter Fowler, at his size, in here at close to 6'5", you have a 6'10" pitcher. Growing him tall as he lifts this one into shallow center field and hard charging. Greg Golson is on. Good first step. Good break on the ball. Sides retired. 2-0 now. As we play this FLASHBACK All-American High School Baseball Classic. The FLASHBACK All-Americans visited Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida earlier in the week. The hospital is this year's beneficiary of the event. with 100% of the proceeds going to the Pediatric Cancer Unit as part of FLASHBACK's dedication to the fight against cancer. The team was greeted at the hospital by Fort Myers Mayor Jim Humphrey, County Commissioner Ray Judah, and Children's Hospital Executive Director Mike Ellis. The players had an opportunity to visit with the patients and sign autographs. Set for the top of the third, it's 2-0 here. Nick Aidenhart pitching so well for the East squad, and we're joined by our sponsor, Al Johnson, with Aflac. Good to have you here. The man that pays the bills in this and sponsoring what is the inaugural All-American High School Baseball Classic in this. And it has really garnered a great deal of attention here. Congratulations. Why are you all involved in doing this? What do you expect to be able to create and sustain?
The game, baseball, obviously embodies all of the things that America was founded on: hard work, teamwork, commitment to be the best. And the players out here tonight certainly represent the company in a great way, in that Aflac, those were the things that not only Aflac was founded on, but also we continue to work and live by.
I know the Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida, Pediatric Cancer Center there, has been a prime focus for Aflac and for you and your activities down here this week.
That's correct. We are committed to pediatric cancer. Back in the 90s, we became a sponsor of the Aflac Cancer Center, which is up in Atlanta, Georgia, part of the Children's Health Care Network of Atlanta. And we see and live it, being in the insurance industry every day. Our policyholders affected by this dreaded disease, and we just want to make sure that we bring an awareness to the nation of the need for the research and treatment of this disease.
Al Nick Aidenhart with his 4th strikeout of the night and 2 1/3. That was Steve Marquardt. And here will come Joseph Dunnigan. Talent is absolutely incredible, and again, these are all rising high school seniors.
That's correct. Doing a fantastic job, and players, visiting the local hospital here, Southwest Children's, and just seeing the kids when the players walk in the room just light up, and the players certainly made a positive impact on the kids, not only short term but long term.
Yeah, anytime those guys can come in, I heard they were all very good gentlemen, and they did a super job with those kids. And like you said, just bringing athletes in to see people like that, it brightens up their day.
I don't want to put anybody in trouble out there on the field, but these are certainly professionals, professional gentlemen. I would like to say they did a super job. They've, again, they embody the true spirit of, not only baseball, but what America is all about.
This is your first annual event?
That's correct. We are looking forward to many years as the title sponsor of this.
They change your pace on Joseph Dunnigan, well out in front. The 5th strikeout for Nick Aidenhart. Take a look at this, Jeff.
Tell you what, this kid has been very impressive right here. Everything he's throwing for strikes. I said he threw all 3 pitches. Here's a great breaking ball right here. The drop on that is unbelievable. That's what we call the old 12-6 breaking ball. And they said we were going to be impressed with this kid, and I'll tell you what, so far I've been very impressed.
We go to the top of the order now, and Greg Colson, who was the very first strikeout victim. He went down swinging, get this game underway, and he lays it down foul. First base side. Greg Colson and Greg Speed.
And I was a little worried earlier tonight. We had little thunderclouds out there and a little bit of rain possibly moving in, and wound up having a pretty nice night for this event.
I'll tell you, the city of Fort Myers and Lee County here in Florida have certainly put on a show for us over the past couple of days, and they brought great weather for us tonight. So
now that you're here in the booth,
them as well.
And now you're here in the booth, you get a chance to see this field is unbelievable.
The field, the grounds crew here is an award-winning grounds crew with the Twins, and they've done a superb job of the layout and the design, and we've been very pleased with the reception we've gotten here within the city, and the way that the Miracles team, the team here in Fort Myers has treated us. It's been great.
Mike Veck, president general manager of that team, and in fact his grounds crew was honored with the finest stadium, the finest playing field in all of Florida for the 2nd straight year. Golson takes it inside from Aidenhart. The honorary chairman of this event is the Hall of Famer Stan the Man Musial. the banquet last night. These young men getting to meet him. Spry at the age of 82.
He certainly put on a show.
He played his harmonica. And Nick Aidenhart on the hill now, who's going so well, said that he had to meet him because Stan Musial is Nick's grandfather's favorite player.
Well, I tell you what really impressed me was they were able to get him to pose with the Aflac duck. That's what really impressed me.
I think Yogi is involved with Aflac too, isn't he?
Yogi was in one of our highest rated commercials. We get more compliments about that, just the Yogi-isms that he uses within the commercial.
Well, you're right next to another
Hazy
New
Cash,
York Yankee catcher, but
yeah, I don't have any Yogi-isms.
No, Al Johnson with us right now from Aflac.
I got a funny story about that I got to share with you real quick. It's I was in Old Timers Day this year in Yankee Stadium. And typical of Yogi, we were all sitting around Joe Torre talking to him on the bench, and he said, hey, Yogi, you know what time it is? And he said, he looked at us in dead serious face. He went, it's now. Unbelievable. There's the duck.
There we go.
We go with those 5 strikeouts.
There was a little Don Zimmer look there going on. I didn't know you guys brought Zimmer in.
He needs that helmet. Here's Matt Bush.
He's that Army helmet on.
Yeah, exactly.
From Mission Bay, San Diego. Terrific talent that he is. Looking for his first base hit. Swings and lifts this well hit to left. Doesn't have enough at the wall. We've got a tie game.
Oh, that's what we like to see.
Exactly. Cecil Espy mentioned that this was his guy that he wanted in the home run contest, and he didn't get a chance to do it. And he was able. He came in right here and he took a nice swing right there. And I think if we show the replay right there, he knew he hit it once he hit it. He took his time around the bases there.
And drove that to Southern California. Question of pop in his bat. He did not hit a home run this year, but he's cracked a 2-run shot to tie this game in the 3rd.
Yeah, fastball right down the middle. Put a nice easy swing on it. And like I said, he knew he had the old bat flip and everything going on right there.
He has a little swagger.
Yeah, he had a little swagger. I guess Cecil Espy's scouting report on him was pretty good.
2-run home run by Matt Bush. And you can see why many regard him as the player that might be the first fielder taken in the 2004 draft.
Well, I think as a team you'd be crazy not to, because he also is an impressive pitcher. If you have a combination of that, if he does fail as a hitter as he goes up in the league, you can always turn him into a pitcher. And I think he's a great guy to take early in the early rounds.
Nelson will throw out Chuck Lofgren, but not before the West on the 2-run blast by Matt Bush. Locks us at 2 apiece midway through the 3rd. The Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. 2-2 ball game following the Bush bomb here in Fort Myers. Let's go down to the field for a presentation of a most important check to the Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida.
On behalf of Aflac and the Aflac All-American Baseball Team, we would like to thank Lee County, the City of Fort Myers, and all of you for supporting the baseball game. We're pleased to present the Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida with this check for $20,000.
Earlier here at Hammond Stadium, the Aflac All-Americans showcased their offensive talents, power in the ballpark, in the Aflac Home Run Derby. Eric Campbell, incredibly, hit 4 home runs on 4 consecutive swings in the 3rd and final round for the day's Rawlings Best Home Runs of the Classic. And he becomes the inaugural Aflac Home Run Champion.
Eric, on behalf of Aflac, the employees, and the kids and staff of the Aflac Cancer Center, we'd like to congratulate you on a great hitting performance tonight. 4 home runs in the final round and 7 home runs overall. We'd like to present to you this 2003 Aflac Home Run Derby Award. We'd also like to make a donation in your name to the kids and staff of the Aflac Cancer Center in the amount of $5,000. Congratulations again on an outstanding hitting performance.
Eric Davis, number 19 there, will be our new pitcher. Eric Davis from Mountain View, California, about 15 minutes from the Stanford campus. So he is on for the West squad, the third hurler of the night. This right-hander with 127 strikeouts, as you see, in 75 innings, and Campbell takes a strike. He, like the rest of this staff, throws very, very hard. Timed 92 miles per hour. Campbell a little late there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm more and more impressed. Every kid they run out here, he's 90, 93, 94, and they seem to be living up to the expectations.
At 6'3", 185 pounds.
Good breaking ball
Eric
right there.
Davis. He was the star of the Junior USA team at the World Games. He was named the top pitcher at the World Championships representing the United States.
That's a pretty good honor right there. That tells you a little bit about how good of a pitcher he really is.
Shook off his catcher there. Here's the 0-2, and he guessed right.
Yep.
High fastball.
He decided he wanted to go up, and that's one of the things as a catcher. You put down the signs, and if the pitcher shakes, you got to go to the next one. And he shook him off right there. Came back right here, wanted to go up, fastball, nice high fastball, and he might have learned something during that home run contest that Eric liked the ball up in the strike zone.
Well, that's where he was getting it from Cecil Espy.
But like I said, that's not Cecil Espy out there anymore. When it's coming 94, 95, it's a little bit different.
Jared Kubin was a strikeout victim in his one and only trip to the plate, slugging first baseman from Oakton, Virginia. Dad Larry Kubin in the stands tonight, former Penn State linebacker, who owns a Super Bowl championship ring earned with Joe Gibbs and the Washington Redskins. And he's cut a lot like his dad, very powerfully built.
Yeah, he's got that football build to him. And like I said, all these kids are great. They seem to be great athletes. And it's just one of those things. Like I said, he comes from a good bloodline. And he's got a good chance to be a great player. If you're here, we mentioned earlier, there's 38 kids here. 10 or 12 of these kids are going to be first and second round picks. And probably all of them are going to be drafted at some time.
Eric Davis works to Kubin. Fouled back. We asked Jared, he's a first baseman tonight. He also plays third. Does it matter at which corner that you play? And he said, no, as long as I get to play. As long as I get to hit.
That was my theory, okay? I'm going to hit, and you're going to find a place for me, because I'm going to hit so good that you're going to have to find a place for me. And I think that's maybe why I played 7 of the 9 positions out there.
At 2-1, Al Johnson joining Jim Laritz, myself, Mike Roberts, head coach and manager for the East. Mike,
what do you call the first pitch that went to the backstop? I would think so, but I don't think it's on the board.
No, it's not. Still 1-1. Soon to be 2-1. And lifted into left. A couple of steps back for Dunnigan, and right in the middle of that red star. The All-Star makes the play.
Just got a little on him. Took a pretty good swing right there, but
nice swing. Good job.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you picking me up right there. See, put a nice swing on it, but just a little bit late. Like I said, 92, 93. Sometimes you get jammed a little bit.
Al, I know that you have worked very closely with Perfect Game and Jerry Ford in selecting these athletes, and Baseball America also involved in identifying the premier players in America among rising high school seniors, including Neil Walker.
Yes. Perfect Game and Baseball America have done a superb job in helping us put this together and bringing the best players throughout the country here. But again, not just the best players, but the best gentlemen. And again, they just embody the true spirit of baseball and all the things that baseball, the history of it.
Neil Walker switch hitting. Takes a strike on the breaking pitch from Eric Davis. Pittsburgh, he got to play in Pittsburgh's new stadium, Jim. I don't know, did you ever get a chance to play in that ballpark?
No, I never got to play in PNC.
You played in Three Rivers, obviously.
I played the last series in Three Rivers Stadium, but I never did get a chance to play in the new park, but I hear it's beautiful.
He said he got to stand there, and when he was standing at home plate, you look out at center field, you see the skyline of the city. It was just, he's standing there looking at skyscrapers and bright lights, and whoa, you don't see this every day in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that probably intimidates these high school kids pretty much. I tell you what, being at this ballpark tonight, they've got to be a little intimidated because, once again, they don't play on these type of fields. And we mentioned earlier, this is one of the best spring training sites in all of baseball.
As the British say, that you can play billiards on that infield.
Exactly.
And there are about 6 to 7 complete diamonds around the stadium that they were working on. They had a Gulf Coast League game taking place today, and that'll do it for Neil Walker. He goes down. A couple of strikeouts for Eric Davis. Al, thank you so much.
Thank you again. Fox Sports doing a great job for us. Appreciate it as well.
Good to see you, Al.
Good to see you.
Yeah, the man who brought the duck with us, Al Johnson with Aflac.
Look for our commercials.
Yeah, we sure will. 2-2 here. Aflac. The bright lights are on. It's a gorgeous evening in Southwest Florida, and a 2-2 game at the Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. College football is here again. College Football Saturday, presented by Casera, returns next week with a full slate of games from the Big 12 and out west of the Pac-10. Our coverage starts Saturday at 12:30 Eastern. It's 9:30 a.m. on the West Coast, only here on Fox Sports Net. New pitcher, Jay Rainville. Saw him as a DH. He's from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I told you he throws hard. Maybe, Jim Leyritz, the hardest thrower in this ballpark tonight.
Well, like I said earlier, they compare him to Roger Clemens, and if you're going to be compared to somebody as a pitcher in this era, you know, it used to be Nolan Ryan, but now it's Roger Clemens. And I tell you what, this kid seems to be very impressive. Well built, put together pretty well, and as you can see right there, he throws 92, 95 with the curveball 73, 76. It's pretty impressive to be able to do that at this age.
Attended a Catholic high school, Bishop Hendricken. That would be known to our viewers up in New England, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. That was the same high school as Rocco Baldelli. Played his prep ball.
Home of the Boston Red Sox AAA. I've been there a few times.
McCoy, is it McCoy Stadium?
McCoy Stadium, the bandbox.
Bandbox there. So we're underway here in the top half of the fourth. Nick Aidenhart, #1 pitching prospect in the eyes of some, and it's, again, very subjective, but he went 3, surrendered but 1 hit. That was a 2-run home run.
Yeah, he was very impressive. He made one mistake, and I gave up the home run, but other than that, the kid's physical makeup, the way he was controlled out there, very smooth delivery, and he kind of had an idea what he was doing on the mound.
Are you into cotton candy?
Not really.
At all?
I'm not.
It's all over.
I tell you.
You know,
if my kids were here, they'd be getting. I know.
Guarantee you, Dad. Go to the wallet. Tyler Baranek would like to take it to the wall. He was a part of the home run hitting contest prior to Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, this kid does have a major league look. If you're a scout in the stands and you're looking at this kid, you got to put him down as probably one of the top 3 or 4 kids here as far as makeup, physical makeup.
And again, at better than 6'5", sort of a Derek Lee frame. Check swing there, and he went, and he's down on strikes. First strikeout of the night. Jay Rainville, who throws hard, took something off of that and showed his finesse.
Yeah, a little breaking ball, got him committed. He committed a little bit too quick, and wasn't able to hold his hands back right here. You'll see right here. I think he was looking fastball, got the breaking ball, and just couldn't hold his hands back. Check swing, strike 3, and tough pitch.
Hello to you and yours. Preston Clark outside the zone. Now Rainville stands a muscular 6'3", 2 1/4. Top the hill, working here on Clark. Very thick through the shoulders and the hips.
Yeah, they compare him to Roger Clemens, but I tell you what, I played with a guy in San Diego. He kind of reminds me of Dan Masilli.
Yeah.
Danny threw the ball like 92, 93, and he was pretty impressive.
Kind of got an Eric Gagnon look to him too. If you put one of those set of Oakleys on him, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Got that same frame, the backside.
Got to get that funny looking goatee though.
Nick Aidenhart is on the horn with us now from the dugout. Nick, were you pleased with your 3 innings there?
Yeah, I thought I threw the ball pretty good. Had a good curveball today.
Just that one mistake. If you had to get it back, what did he hit?
I hit a fastball first pitch. Kind of second guessed it about halfway through the motion, and just hoping he would have took it, but instead he took it out.
Yeah, that's one of those things right there. If you don't want to throw that pitch 100%, sometimes you make a mistake with it. But
Right.
other than that, man, you did a great job.
Thanks.
Like I said, you do me a favor though. We're gonna put you on camera. I want to see a smile out of you. I heard we haven't been able to get a smile out of you all
Good-looking
week.
guy there. Let me ask you this: do you feel a sense of pressure, or how do you handle what you obviously hear when people say Nick Adenhart might be the best right-handed pitcher coming up in the high school ranks now, entering his senior year?
I take it seriously on the field. Take it seriously working out. But besides that, try to just have fun on the way through.
Well, kid, you got a bright future ahead of you. Like I said, all three of your pitches you threw tonight, you threw very well, and it's kind of tough working with a new catcher sometimes, but you did a great job.
Thanks.
And Nick, this will not be the last time we talk to you on Fox Sports Net through the years. About 10 years from now, we'll probably revisit this conversation.
All right.
Some big league ballpark. Thanks so much, Nick. Congratulations. Nick Adenhart. You did get him to smile.
Hey, you said he hadn't smiled all week. I said, listen, come on, kid. You're on camera. You're on national TV. Give yourself a chance to smile here.
Trevor Plouffe has reached twice tonight. Base hit for him. Just the second hit of this game for the West. That'll bring up Luke French.
Well, we talked to Jerry Ford earlier, and he would mention that in this year's crop of players, it's really not. It's kind of a small position player field. But as far as if you were to take the top 30 players and put them, pick them
coast to coast,
top 30, he said probably 28 of them would be pitchers. And as a scout sitting in the stands watching this game tonight, you got to see that's pretty accurate.
Oh, and what is most valuable in baseball? They will always say in developing talent. Garth will be the first to tell you, young arms.
You hit one in the gap here and see him running all around the bases. Let's go.
Yeah, pitching is so diluted now in the major leagues. It's hard to find.
Starts the runner and the throw in time.
Very nice. Very quick release and able to get it.
So a hit and run. Well, French will be back at the dish. Oh, in the West comes back to the plate. Great peg out of Neil Walker. And Trevor Plouffe cut down on the tag by Brad Hibner. Balanced talent and a game living up to its billing. This is the very first AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. We play it tonight on Fox Sports Net here in warm Southwest Florida. In Fort Myer, presented, of course, by AFLAC, and our Russell Athletic stat of the night to this point. As you look in here, Jim Leyritz, your Major League Baseball career, 1990 to 2000, 4 postseason appearances, and of course 2 World Series rings. The one I remember, where you have here a San Diego Padre ring. Put that up there.
That's the national championship ring for San Diego Padres.
National championship ring.
And the Yankees beat us that year, so it wasn't too bad.
But it was with the Yankees in '96, correct, that you changed a World Series, the momentum of a World Series with your home run.
Yeah, it's one of those things people say that it was a home run off Mark Wohlers in the Game 4. We were down 6-3, and we all thought the game was over when they brought Wohlers in, and I was lucky enough to get a hanging slider. And they say that that kind of changed things as far as the Yankees and the Braves and what direction they went in after that. And I was kind of happy with that.
This is not the set of the Best Damn Sports Show, period, but we see you on that, too, out in Los Angeles for the network.
Yeah, I've been filling in for Kevin Kennedy when he has to do some of the baseball stuff, and that's a great show. It's a fun time, and it's really not like working. It's like hanging out at the bar talking to all your buddies and stuff.
Don't tell anybody that. All right, here's Javier Guerra, who is a whole lot of fun to watch. Pay attention here. This is a young man from Denton, Texas. He talks to his catcher in Preston Clark, that he's known for 2 things, and the first is obvious, an electric arm, and the second is a very powerful high leg kick and a hop on the rubber. It's an unorthodox delivery and unique and for hitters trying to pick up the ball. The results speak for themselves at 15-0.
And talking to Omar Washington last night, he said, wait till you see this kid pitch.
He wasn't stumbling.
Yeah, he said, you know what? This kid reminds me of Freddie Garcia, who pitches for the Seattle Mariners. And I tell you what, Freddie is a very impressive pitcher with some really nasty stuff, and probably one of the toughest right-handers I've ever had to face. And if you watch this kid, watching him warm up here now pitching, he does remind me a lot of Freddie Garcia.
Well, this delivery gets notice among scouts and college coaches, but he's never been called for a balk, and it's never been ruled illegal, although he's off the rubber when he lets the ball go.
Yeah, it's not really like a jump almost. It's like a hitch. And you got to wonder, you got to have some pretty good leg strength and with that kind of emotion. But the thing is, too, if you have some strong legs, you're going to be able to bring the ball up there pretty good.
Strong he does. He stands 6'2", 180 pounds. And there is the hop. And he freezes Brad Emus.
I tell you, these hitters can't be used to seeing something like this. And I know from facing guys the first time and facing the guy, it is a very tough thing. Especially when they have a little bit of a hitch or something different. So he's got that little leg kick. You know, Rob Nen was a guy that I had trouble hitting against because he had a little leg tap through the ball. Anytime a pitcher can do something a little bit awkward, it makes it tough to face him. And, that little leg kick right there has to be a little bit. Plus, he's throwing the ball over 90.
You got a bunny hop in there. You don't need as much leverage when you get 6 inches more. That's an interesting one there.
Mike's been around a long time, in 23 years in Chapel Hill.
They do it in pro baseball.
Don't see anything like that. Now, does he lose his leverage when he leaves the rubber and doesn't push off? Does some of it dissipate?
Well, I'll tell you what, he seems to be pretty balanced. Pretty balanced and pretty stays on the mound pretty well. It's like I said, it's something weird and it looks funny, but if you really slow it down on tape, you can see that he's got his legs underneath him.
Well, he sets down the first two, and Brad Emus, Anthony Russell on the tapper, and that'll bring up the left fielder Mark Rogers.
The only thing you get concerned with when somebody has something a little bit different.
I mean, most pitchers, when the ball comes out of their hand, they are not in contact, but not that far.
Rogers with the big cut.
And see right there, he was talking about, Coach Roberts was talking about, he does come off the rubber, and if that's the case, you can't really see it from here, but if that's the case, it can be considered a ball. This is something that he may have to work on once he gets to the next level. As far as staying in contact with that rubber.
Maine Gatorade High School Player of the Year.
We got a pretty good shot of it. Pretty good shot of it right there. And I'll tell you what, that's a good question. I'd like to find out what they're going to do once he gets to the next level.
The umpires here haven't drawn exception to it. And again, and he has told us that throughout his prep career, he's never been called for a balk. So watch at home.
But as you go up, the rules change a little. They don't let you get away with quite as much.
And what will Harry Wingelstad, Joe Brinkman, what would they think?
Here.
Nice and
Mom loves it. She had a proud of her son. Javier Guerra retires the side in order. Our score remains 2-2 at the AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. The AFLAC All-American Classic is brought to you by AFLAC. AFLAC is extremely proud to be a part of this outstanding sporting event while raising awareness for research and treatment of pediatric cancer. An All-American Classic tonight presented by AFLAC, the 30 best high school players in the country. Meanwhile, critics are calling this the best damn sports show, period. Yes, a 2-hour frat party, irreverent skills, interviews, sharp locker room banter. The best damn sports show, period. Starring Jim Leyritz. Every weeknight at 8 and late night only on Fox Sports Net. They pick up swag when you go out to the West Coast. They load you up. Hello, young man. At Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers, Florida. Fans of all ages turning out. They have their caps on, and Jimmy Leyritz wearing his best damn sports show, period.
A little souvenir
cap on there. I got a duck. I got an AFLAC duck. You got the baseball cap on. I like the look, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of those things that, one of the little niches that you get when you go out there and do that show. Like I said, it's a great show, and Fox has done a great job with that. You know, whenever Kevin Kennedy can't go out there, I try to sneak
You're in the bullpen.
Yep, I'm in the bullpen.
You're a utility guy.
I'm the right-handed reliever out of the bullpen.
Jay Rainville out of the bullpen continues to work. He'll face the lower third of the order, and Luke French get it underway. Who grounded out to first his only trip to the plate. Jay Rainville from Bishop Hendricken and Pawtucket, 10-0 on the year. Their earned Rhode Island High School Player of the Year honors.
I'll tell you what, it's impressive, these kids' numbers and things like that. And you always wonder because they don't face the best competition. They don't face the best players in the certain areas that they play. But these kids are coming in here and they're pitching here. And what we've seen so far from all these pitchers is these kids are impressive. They do have the makeup. They do have everything that they've been billed to be. They've been this.
Yeah, but living up to it.
Exactly.
Luke French from Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado. the first baseman. He too also a pitcher. I guess if you're an athlete in the prep ranks, pretty much you have the stronger arms on your team. Your coach is going to use you. In this case, Coach John Corton is Luke's coach in Littleton, Colorado.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, they're good athletes, and which is kind of different because when you get to the big leagues, the pitchers are your worst athletes. And I don't know how that happens sometimes, but you know, a lot of these kids do play both positions. When I was in high school, I was a center fielder and a catcher and also a pitcher. And right here we see a nice pitch right here. Very impressive fastball. So impressive the catcher couldn't even hang on to that one. But you can see right there, he's just late. And that's just overpowering the hitter right there.
Steve Markway.
Like I
stirred up at the bottom third of the order.
Like I mentioned, you know, I was a pitcher also in high school. A lot of these kids, you know, it's a big advantage for, but at the same time, I think it was my junior year that I decided, you know what, I'm a better hitter, and I got a better chance of making it as a hitter than I do a pitcher. And you'll see some of these kids as they go to the next level, whether it's college or the minor leagues, have to make that decision and see which direction they go as far as finding out if they can hit minor league pitching or even college pitching.
A man who will be advising Steve Marquardt is his older brother, AJ, who happens to be his high school coach in Kennewick, Washington. So he plays for his older brother, close to the Oregon border.
That's got to be a little difficult. I know it's bad enough when I try to coach my kids, what they say to me. I can imagine. You know, I coached my kids' little league team this past year.
He's gonna pick you up this thing.
Got some changes going on here in the dugout. But I coached my little kids' 8-year-old team, Austin, and you know, even after 11 years in the major leagues, he looked at me one day and said, "Dad, you can't help me. You don't know anything about this."
Of course not.
Yeah, I can't imagine having my brother try to coach me. It's got to be worse.
Jay Rainville, back to the hill. He's already fanned 3 of the 4 men that he's faced. And you can see why he piled up 155 strikeouts and patterns his game after Roger Clemens.
One of the things you got to like about this kid right here is he's got a short arm delivery. It's not much wear and tear on his arm. He really uses his legs well, and that's one of the things that compare him right here. See, nice smooth, short delivery, great breaking ball right there. You know, it's one of those things that I'm very impressed with the control these kids have over their pitches, and you know, the one, like I said, had to know that he's short, and he's stocky, and has a good solid base. His arm problems are going to be less.
Joseph Dunnigan here, a strikeout victim himself, Jim, from St. Ignatius Prep, the Wolfpack, downtown Chicago.
This kid looks like a football player. I was watching him in batting practice earlier. He's put together. He's definitely got himself a pretty good build.
He turned around and asked Dave Schmidt, the home plate umpire, was that a strike I swung at? Behind 0-2 with 2 gone. And just fought that off. He hit .377 in his junior year, but he does have a football cut. He doesn't play football. He does play the 4 and 5 inside for the Wolfpack basketball team. And he says he's quicker inside than most post players, although he's built so strongly.
Oh yeah, like I said, you can see as a scout in the stands, they look at body type sometimes more than they do performance. And they kind of determine whether or not these kids are going to be what they're going to look like in the future. And you take a look at a kid like this, and you say, you know what? He's built, he's put together. He hasn't started really lifting weights and doing agility things yet. He's got a bright future.
He has a size 20-inch neck.
Oh, I know. He's huge. I saw him last night at the banquet.
And he doesn't lift.
And I told him, I said, you sure you're at the right banquet? You know, is there a football banquet in town maybe you're missing? But he's an impressive kid.
Impressively, Jay Rainville strikes out the side and does so on a changeup. 2-2 still here through the 5th. 2-2 ball game of the Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. It has been very well played. We'll see our first left-hander for the West in this game. Here comes Troy Patton out of Tumble High School in Magnolia, Texas. So many Texas players.
A lot of good Texas pitchers. Hard, you know, they come from a state where they're known as the hard throwers. And these kids have been pretty impressive so far.
Well, the hard thrower in Patton, just over 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, and he can throw very, very hard. As you see, the fastball charted in the 90s. These players selected in large measure by Baseball America, one of the most informative publications on this sport in the United States. and its president in Catherine Silver, joining Jim and I here in the booth. Congratulations on this. I know you're involved, want to be involved here with high school players in this inaugural event here.
Right.
Catherine. Tell us what.
From the very beginning, the idea has been bouncing around for several years, and obviously Sports America is the only company you'd want to do it with because they had done such a great job in basketball. It only took us 20 years to catch up with basketball, but Baseball America, we believe in youth sports, and we cover this group. We've been scouting these kids probably 3 or 4 years, so we've seen them for a long time. We start watching them around 13, 14 up until this point. So for us to be able to pick a team of professionals, the draft class of 04, these are the guys that we'll be writing about for the next 8 or 9 months, and to be able to show them to a television audience and also to a consumer audience is really exciting.
Here's Jay Rainville, pitched pretty well. 5 strikeouts and 2 innings of work. He remains the DH with Patton on the hill.
Tell you, that first pitch for Patton was pretty impressive.
And the curveball here.
Said he was a hard thrower, and backs it up with a nice curveball right there.
Well, we expect some of these guys to be Baseball America cover boys. That's what I asked them at the banquet the other night, and they all raised their hand. They're the first ones they want to be on the cover.
Well, you've done a very impressive job of putting these kids together.
They're a great team, aren't they?
Very good.
We're familiar with, say, the McDonald's Basketball All-Star Classic, which is morphed and grown into an incredible event here. There's an opportunity here for baseball to have a showcase game on a national level, and obviously
that's what we want this to be. We want it to be a brand where being an All-American, an Affleck All-American, means something. That you really, and actually, you know, hate to say it to the teams and the scouts out there, but actually maybe makes you, it's worth more in money to you, but it really does have something. It means something when you're running into your senior year to be chosen. There's only 38 kids, and we've got thousands in our database that we went through to pick this team. And it wasn't just there, and actually if you've met the kids and had a chance to see them at the hospital the other day with the cancer patients, they are true All-Americans. They are true character of the kind of players that you would want to be in the big leagues. They handled themselves brilliantly. They handled the kids amazingly, and they're truly good kids. They're nice people.
That would include this young man from the Atlanta suburbs, and Christopher Nelson.
Is he from Decatur, or is he from Alpharetta? Which one?
He's Decatur. The next one in the order. You know your baseball.
There you go.
Well, she said she's hand-selected these players. They've taught them for many years.
Yeah, we hand-selected them very carefully, and character did play into picking this team.
Now, it needs to be mentioned the fact that the Affleck All-Americans from the state of Florida and Tennessee, who were selected to play in this game, were not allowed to participate tonight in this classic due to rulings by their High School Activities Association.
Correct.
Can you bring us up to date on what that was and the rules that came into play?
Well, unfortunately, when we first started to put the game together, we thought the game was going to be in July, but due to a lot of factors, not the least of which was finding a great facility like this and getting all the kids available of the caliber that we were looking for, the game got pushed forward.
Right.
And in the state of Florida, their ruling is after school starts, the students are not allowed to play in an all-star game. And they considered this an all-star game. And unfortunately, this particular game doesn't apply to any ruling in any state in the country because it doesn't exist. It's a brand new entity, and they don't really have a ruling that applies. So they had to use the statutes that they had, which applied to all-star games within the state of Florida. And they ruled the kids ineligible. And at this point, these players are professionals, and we didn't want to run the risk that they would lose their eligibility their senior year. So they participated in everything all week, and they were very good sports about it, but we are working now with Florida and Tennessee and all the other states to make sure that that doesn't happen again next year, that Florida will be represented in the game.
Will you try to move the dates back?
The problem is you really can't, because you have a lot of conflicts in July with USA Baseball and Olympic. There's so much going on in the summer. We do our best, but actually the state of Florida is trying to move the school date forward, so that may help us.
Yeah, I would think any high school or anything would like these kids to be out here and be showcased. It gets them some notoriety also.
Right.
And like I said, it gives these kids a chance to show their talent.
Well, we didn't choose them because of their high school. We chose them as individuals. And then Baseball America looks at them as professionals. I mean, we truly look at them as the draft class of '04, the next collegiate players or major leaguers. So that's what you're looking at here, and that's what we market that. We think the fans should come out and see them because you're going to see these kids playing great college baseball, or great major league. They're the guys that we're going to write about a lot in the next 8 months.
Yeah, they've all been very impressive.
There's a pretty good at bat right now going for Dexter Fowler, your young friend from Alpharetta.
Yeah.
Had that right here. Trying to get that run home. Pick him up, break this tie. Slow roller. That's a foul ball out in front of the plate.
Well, and the amazing thing, too, is the kids chose to play with wooden bats, which for high school kids in this field, in a professional field, is pretty gutsy on their part because it's a big field, and college players would be playing with metal bats and have an advantage. They voted to play with wooden bats in this field. So they wanted to play like the big leagues and show these scouts that are all sitting here, which we have quite a lot of them watching the players tonight.
Yeah, there's a great
And I think they've done an amazing job with wood bats.
Yeah,
every major league organization is represented here tonight, along with an array of major college programs, and this extended at bat for Dexter Fowler continues.
You see a lot of guns down there.
Oh yeah, there is quite. My original scout that signed me is down there.
Oh really?
Yep, Jack Gillis. He's in the stands.
There's quite a lot of them. So.
And it gets away from the catcher. And Fowler is going to reach, and it gets past the first baseman too, and this will get the run home. Unearned, but it's a 3-2 ball game as Nelson comes sliding across the plate.
That was one of those that maybe he should have kept it right there. He didn't have much of a chance of throwing them out right there.
Well, I think they're giving the fans a great game.
Oh, I think so too. I think it's been a really good game.
Well, for Troy Patton, it'll go as a strikeout. You have a throwing error on the play.
I'll tell you, Fowler did a good job after striking out, not stopping. He hustled all the way down the line, was able to beat it out. And very impressive hustle right there.
And Nelson coming all the way around from second.
I love Dutch.
There's some of our fans.
The kids getting autographs from these players.
Yeah, they've had a great turnout. Yeah, very good turnout tonight.
Well, I think it will grow. And it will certainly, and the plans are to move it around the country and to be in, and I can tell you just about every company and every ballpark I talked to said, yes, we want the game. So we've got 5 or 6 fields that will take it in the coming years.
And Fowler cut down for the second out.
Nice little throw. Short hop there a little bit, but made a nice play out there.
Well, you're saying that in addition to here, perhaps on the West Coast or other sites throughout the country would be very interesting?
Well, AFLAC wants to move it around the country.
All right.
So we would be looking in the North and the West and the Midwest. And the players here represent, I'm not sure how many states we have, at least 30.
I'll tell you, geographically, we go
quite a lot.
Those young men, unfortunately, couldn't participate from Florida, Four Corners, Washington, San Diego,
right, or
Island, Maine.
Maine, that's right.
And, so all 4 corners, including Wisconsin, Waukesha, Wisconsin, Braddock. Patton missing here.
And like we mentioned, some of these kids don't get to play but 13, maybe 15 games in their high school season because of their weather.
Yeah,
this gives them an
compared to the
opportunity.
Sunbelt kids.
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
Andy Gale, who plays his prep baseball up in New Hampshire, was snowed out, we said. How much baseball did you miss? He said, about half a month out there. Good 2 weeks.
Well, I grew up in Cincinnati, and I can remember my senior year, we all went on spring break for the first time in our life because we had 7 inches of snow still on the ground when our season was supposed to start.
Back this way again. Eric Campbell. 3-2 game as the East has gone in front here in the 5th. Chris Nelson has scored 2 of the 3 runs in the showcase of 30 of the finest high school baseball players in America. All are rising seniors. All will be drafted highly, all heavily recruited. That includes the hurler and Patton.
Any left-hander that can throw like this is a very good opportunity going very early in the draft.
A lot of them have got a lot of offers already from colleges, have been talking to them. We've talked to a lot of the kids about that, and certainly asking them the question, where are you leaning towards, a college career or the major leagues? And They're like, depends on the check. You know, we get a.
Yeah. Almost got to us right there.
But many of them are serious about going through playing college baseball and then going from there into the majors, and more major leaguers are coming out of college programs these days than straight out of high school.
Patton, number 2 on his back, he whips the ball, does this left-handed. Patton regarded as one of the nation's top left-handed pitchers. Just ahead of it, Campbell. They count now at 3-2 with 2 gone. Now your circulation of Baseball American, it's thick, great reading, informative.
Thank you.
On minor leagues, organizations. You have 3 Huntsville Stars on the front out of the Brewers organization. The circulation now over 70,000.
Right.
Each and every publication, and it comes out if you want to subscribe. And we here on Fox Sports Net always proud to promote.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
What is it? Bi-monthly, twice a month, 26.
26 issues a year plus 8 books that we publish.
Whoa. 24 times 26 issues, and how many books?
8.
8 books that you publish.
Right.
That's a pretty
So if you go to baseballamerica.com is the best way to buy all of our products. And if you are a subscriber to the paper, then you're also a subscriber to the website. But you can also just get the website, which we have quite a few people who do that.
Runner going again. This throw is high, and he's under the tag safely. Runner again at second base. It's been a rough inning for Patton, who deserves perhaps a bit better than this.
Yeah, he's had a couple tough breaks here. He had a strikeout that they weren't able to get the out on, and he'd be out of the inning already. And you just got to keep battling out there and doing the job.
Garrett Kubin looking for his first hit tonight. Lashes this one to the upper reaches of this ballpark here.
And that's one of the things the scouts will look for. They'll see the demeanor as far as on the mound and how these kids react to certain situations. And, these kids got to know that they all know that their scouts in the stands taking a look at it.
Well, that's the level of professionalism is impressive for a group of 17-year-old boys, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the banquet last night, that was very impressive.
For the whole weekend, from everything that they've done, from every practice to every single thing. The Sports America folks said it's way different than the basketball players.
You'll be pleased with this, and I know you addressed the gathering last night, but Mike Roberts, who coached for 23 years at the University of North Carolina, with the runner going, called strike 3, said that banquet last night was as classy as any baseball gathering he's ever been to.
Yeah, that's nice to say.
Catherine, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
3-2 hour score here. Excellent baseball game. Excellent publication. Baseball America. The Aflac All-American Classic is brought to you by Rawlings, official equipment sponsor, by Russell Athletic, official uniform sponsor, by Adidas, the official footwear sponsor, and by New Era, the official baseball cap sponsor. Southern California beauty, perhaps, in the audience tonight. A 3-2 ball game here on Fox Sports Net. Time for another Aflac trivia question. Jim, I know that you can't go more than 3 or 4 innings without an Aflac trivia question.
No, why not?
How many first-round picks were high school players? Now, this is a good one here. In the most recent Major League entry draft.
Well, you know what? I obviously didn't get my cheat sheet for these answers. I'm going to say 23.
That many?
What is it, 30? How many picks are in the first round?
32, give or take.
Oh, 32. Okay, I'll say 18.
18.
Yeah, 18.
We're talking about Andy Gale having to pitch with the snow way up to here. Up in New Hampshire, here is Andy Gale at 6'6". What a frame. And he can bring it. Andy Gale on for the East squad here.
Well, I know his father was a pretty good pitcher, so he comes from some good bloodlines also. And like you said, he is a big, impressive kid. And throws 90, 93, got a slider 80, 84, and you obviously know that he's had some good teaching in the past.
Rich Gale was his daddy, of course, with Kansas City. Andy attends Philip Exeter Academy, a very prestigious school. And obviously here at that boarding high school, this is academically sound, athletic, superior young man who has just gotten this one lifted very high into the sky. Up it goes, down it comes. One gone.
Just missed that one. Pretty good cut. And like I said, these pitchers have been impressive. They've been able to get the ball in on these hitters, keep them a little off balance with the breaking balls. But I tell you, I am very, very impressed on how hard these kids can really throw.
So Gale will now face Matt Bush, who has the biggest blow of the evening, the 2-run home run to tie this game in the third. And that came off the starter, Nick Adenhart. First pitch fastball, as Nick told us.
Yeah, Nick said he wasn't 100% sure he wanted to throw that pitch. And anytime you're not 100%, you should step off the mound, regroup yourself. And that's what I always just tell my pitchers. I said, you know what? I'm going to put down what I think you should throw. If you don't want to throw it 100%, don't throw it. Don't second guess yourself. And he made a mistake right there, left the ball to the plate, and Bush put a great swing on it, and Matt hit it right out of the ballpark.
Andy Gale, who was held to only 15 games in his high school season this year before embarking upon these showcase games around the country, misses upstairs, and work is at a premium. You need to throw. That gets into the great debate as which area of the country better to live in, more conducive.
Yeah, you got to wonder sometimes. You got to wonder sometimes when you have a kid that's as good as he is, or as good as some of these kids are in the Midwest and those areas that have the bad weather, whether or not you're smarter moving to Florida or moving to those areas that you know they're going to get a chance to play. And it's a sad thing to say that you're going to move for that, but that might be the difference. And that's the one nice thing about these games, and that's why I keep saying, the more of these games that they can play to show their talent, to give them a chance to be seen, the better off these kids are going to be, and they're going to get a chance to go to the little better colleges or maybe be one of the minor league picks, first or second round picks. All that exposure is exactly what they need.
Andy Gale has just surrendered his first walk. Matt Bush, this comes in wake of Jay Rainville fanning 5 in 2 innings, 5 of the 6 hitters he faced.
Well, they said he was a Roger Clemens type pitcher, and he was pretty impressive.
Fisted into his own dugout. See how far down the line Matt Bush was when Gale released. At 6'6", and Gale will be the first to tell you, he admits that he is challenged by his physical size to keep his mechanics down, and being 6'6", it makes him long to the plate.
Yeah, these guys don't, they're not ready to work on the side steps and the things like that. They're just getting to know, especially being that tall, getting to know his body a little bit.
There goes the runner.
He had pretty much no chance right there, and that's one of those things as a catcher. He did a good job. Just eat the ball, let the guy steal. It's not on you. And it's something that as Andy gets a little older that he'll have to work on. And like I said, once he gets comfortable with his body and comfortable coordinated-wise, he'll make the adjustments.
So trailing by a run now. He's going to try and steal third, and this is fouled back by Lofgren, and he had a great jump too, did Matt Bush.
I think this is where Andy in the situation has to mix up his looks a little bit to second base. He just looked back one time right there, and he did it 2 or 3 times in a row. As a runner on second base, you watch what that pitcher does. And if he only one looks you know that as soon as his head turns, you can take off. And so you got to mix up your looks every now and then. Look back once, look back twice, just so that runner can't get that comfortable out there.
Lofgren 0 for 2. Runner not going. Swung on and missed. The first strikeout for Andy Gale as he took something off of it. For Garth Orge. Garth Orge managed at every level in the minor leagues, AAA, AA.
Bring that 35-inch bat, Big Tyler.
That's what we mentioned earlier. See that 35-inch bat? That's a man's bat right there.
There's Tyler Baratic, and he picked up the run. Slider for a strike.
There you go. Good job right there. That time he mixed up his looks a little bit and kept the runner at second base. That's what you got to do. If you know you're long and you know you can't change it right now, you have to do the little things to make that adjustment. And that time, Matt Bush was out there trying to get that little walking lead, get that little momentum going. And when you look back the second time, Matt had to stop. And that's exactly what you're trying to do as a pitcher is just get that runner to stop so he can't get his momentum going towards third base.
And if you were playing in a game that was not a showcase, one that would count in the standings, you as a skipper or pitching coach might take a walk out to the hill and talk to him about that.
Yeah, you would. And like I said, with his father being a former pitcher, it's got to be something that he's probably talked about. But you got to remember, these kids are nervous. These kids are going out here for the first time in front of every these people.
Well, he settled down pretty nicely there. Struck out the last two that he saw. Andy Gale on right now. 3-2 at the moment. The Aflac All-American Awards Banquet took place earlier in the week at the lovely Sanibel Harbor Resort in Fort Myers. Honorary Chairman Stan the Man Musial, one of baseball's 5 greatest living legends, was the keynote speaker. The Aflac All-Americans also spent time before dinner with children from the Aflac Cancer Center, who traveled out to Fort Myers for game week to be a part of the celebration of this year's inaugural classic. The East leads the West tonight in our inaugural Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. A classic response to this. You do the math on this. How many first-round picks were prep players, much like these young men just a year ago, but were then taken in the Major League Baseball entry draft in the first round? And obviously instant millionaires. How many, Jimmy?
I predicted 18.
12 of 30. And 17 of 37, so you were close.
You're closer there now.
Here, give it up. Talk about cold weather players. They're from states, chilly north, from Lapeer, Michigan. Here's the right-hander, Will Jostock. At 6'6", much like Andy Gale, and one of his coaches for this West team, Cecil Espy, on a headset down in the dugout. Hello, Cecil, tonight. We just want to know did you make it through the home run derby.
I made it through okay.
You impressed me, man. That's a lot of pitches thrown out there.
Your pitch count, we had you at about 138, Cecil.
138?
Here tonight. You played a decade in the major leagues with some great teams. The sense you get of the talent, the thrill you have being associated with these 17-year-olds here tonight.
Yeah, there's some tremendous talent out here on both sides of the field. The arms out here are incredible.
Oh, yeah, these kids have been impressive. I was like, I mean, you play a team 3-game series, and you don't see 3 guys throwing 90 miles an hour. And yeah, all these kids are coming out here throwing like they are.
Outstanding. I mean, I think the one kid, Javi, was throwing about 95, looked like.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to give you some props, too, because we talked earlier in the home run contest that you wanted your boy Matt Bush in there, and I said, and he didn't even get in the tournament. So I said you couldn't be a very good judge of talent. But now the boy steps up in the game and hits a 2-run homer. I tried to wave to you, but you wouldn't look up here.
Oh, I looked up to you. I touched the top of my hat on you, man. I said, I told you.
Very good scouting report there.
You're bringing it into Eric, too. Didn't Eric come out there and say, I want it up and in? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what did he say to you when he came out to the mound there?
He just said, I like the way you're throwing it. Just keep throwing it up and in. He said, just give it to me up anywhere. I'll get it.
And we see on the bill of your cap, Cecil, that's Stan Musial.
Stan Musial, yeah. We got a chance to sit down and meet him last night. He spoke for a little while. It was awesome. He was one of my idols when I was growing up. And it was just a great opportunity to meet him.
Cecil, how have you enjoyed this event?
It's been awesome. It's been well run. The kids have been fantastic. Everything's just been wonderful.
And Neil Walker.
I tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better night either out here.
I tell you, it's a great ball game going on right now. We're 1 run down. We got to get a couple runs here.
And Brad Emus comes to the plate now. Will Jostock there for the West. Omar Washington in the dugout with you. Another on the coaching staff, former draft pick out of the Dallas area.
Yeah. We gave him a new nickname. We call him Billboard now.
Billboard. No, explain to me that one.
Well, Omar's back so big, you put a billboard on the back. Aflac should have put their name on the back of his shirt, man. They've got a lot of pub there.
There's Brad Emus.
That's good. I'm going to have to tell him that one later.
Connie Mack, World Series championship, won in New Mexico. A strike to him here. Cecil, you're coaching in high school baseball right now, aren't you? Is that at Country Day?
Yes, Fort Worth Country Day. It's in the Metroplex. It's a small private school. We have about 1,000 kids in the whole school. It goes from K through 12. Matter of fact, my catcher there is, oh my God.
They have caught him in the helmet. And Brad Emus is down and back up quickly.
Yeah. Don't like to see that happen.
Yeah, you have been there, Jim, and you've been there, Cecil, too.
Oh yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah.
Here at real speed.
Here it is. I tell you. Oh, I tell you what, he got very lucky. It hit the bill of the cap and not the middle of it. I tell you, that's nasty. Randy Johnson hit me with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and just deflected off my wrist and got my face. And I tell you what, those are scary moments up there.
That is a very scary moment. Oof.
And Will Jostock, who can throw into the 90s. That was unintentional, just runs in.
Yeah, it's one of those things, hard throwers, that happens sometimes. They get their weight shifted a little bit in the wrong direction. And you don't like to see that happen, but it does.
Anthony Russell now with the East squad, leading by a run and an opportunity to pick up another one.
And we know these kids can't have any blood. Like, you know, Red Cecil or Cecil.
Yeah.
Some of the teams we played against, we had some bad blood. We knew those things happened.
Oh yeah.
This is spoken by a man, Cecil, that played for both the Yankees and then went over to the other side with the Red Sox. And this is behind. This pitch is behind.
Yeah, I think that pitch might have hit the guy in the helmet, might have shaken him up a little bit right there. He.
And I think the home plate umpire and Dave Schmidt asked him, "Did that pitch hit you?"
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I want to swing.
Let's look at this and see if we can get a little better view here. No, it definitely went behind him.
Will Jostock was a perfect 12-0 in his junior year. His ERA 0.50. So this is very unaccustomed territory to him as he blows it by Russell.
Well, anytime you hit a guy in the head like that, and you hit somebody like that way, and it's not intentional, you didn't mean to do it, it does shake you up a little bit. And these kids are young kids, and like I said, that may have shaken them up just a little bit there.
Sure, understandable. And in 83 innings, he only walked 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things, he's a control pitcher. He's not used to doing something like that. Came back strong right there, though.
Yeah, gets a strikeout of Anthony Russell for his first out.
See, so you mentioned
scoring position.
You mentioned a little earlier the impressive arms that you have. I mean, who do you think out here is one of the top prospects? What did you think of Aiden Hart when he pitched?
I thought he threw the ball extremely well. He showed real good command of a couple pitches, fastball and his breaking ball.
Yeah, he looked pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now we have a question for you.
Gotcha.
What was the kid's name? Carrera.
Yeah,
Javi. We broke it down on the film a little bit. He does come off the mound, off the rubber when he pitches. Is that going to be a problem?
I don't know. I know a lot of schools that he's played against in Texas have been really, hammering on that. But from everybody in Texas, they say it's legal in high school. So whatever he's doing, with that arm he has an incredible arm.
Oh yeah, unbelievable arm.
Will a pitching coach, when you take your golf, if you go to Gulf Coast League, you go to A-ball, the first thing a pitching coach is going to try and do is change that?
I tell you, Omar, and you guys said he looks like Freddie Garcia. He really does, too, just like Freddie. He's got the setup just like Freddie. But Freddie doesn't come off the rubber quite as much. And I wonder, he might be able to make the adjustment, but he's going to have to make a change, I think, because once he gets to the next level of ball, I think they're probably going to enforce that a little bit more.
Will Jostock from Lapeer West, who threw a no-hitter against Lapeer East this year. Almost had a perfect game. He set an error in the 7th, kept him from a perfect game against his arch rival. So it was a wonderful spring for him, just north of Detroit. And fouled away. He's on the verge here of striking out the side after giving up the walk to Walker and then beating Brad Emos.
All right, now we got 2 outs here. You're going to be coaching third base here in a minute. You're going to be able to get this team 2 runs to win this thing?
Hey, we just got to get somebody on base and get a hit, get somebody in scoring position, and get Matt back up to the plate.
I was going to say, if Matt comes back up there and hits a home run, I am going to give you the MVP trophy.
Cecil, great talking to you, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoyed the visit, man.
All right,
Great, too. His team needs a run here in the Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. With us, the man that helped select these 2 outstanding squads of All-Americans, Jerry Ford, in perfect game with us. Jerry, your scouting service, your evaluation service has put together 2 wonderful teams.
I think we knew that was going to happen on the way in, but thank you very much.
Yeah, you guys have tremendous talent.
You're from Iowa. Tell us how you're able to follow players coast to coast in the prep range.
Well, basically our business revolves around scouting these players throughout the country. That's what we do. Is we are constantly looking for the best talent, high school talent in the United States and Canada and Latin America, for that matter.
You would have how many scouts out providing information to you? And
oh, we have literally hundreds of contacts throughout the country that report to us, and then we have 25, 35 full-time people around that basically check up on any reports that we get from our contacts out there.
this is David Armstrong, by the way, gentlemen, who will take over for the catcher, Preston Clark, his first swing of the night. Andy Gale remains on the hill. Andy Gale already having fanned 5, and I'll make it 6.
Very impressive so far.
Yeah, Andy Gale, tell us about him and your take on this young man from Durham, New Hampshire, and Exeter Academy.
Well, Andy is obviously a big, strong right-hander that has great bloodlines and a good right arm. And, he's probably the guy that Jim was talking about Rainville. I'm not so sure. Andy Gale's mechanics don't remind me a little bit more of Roger Clements than even Rainville does. Rainville throws a little harder, but Gale's a pretty polished pitcher.
Well, yeah, with a father that's Rich Gale, former pitcher, you're definitely going to learn a little bit more. And he mentioned that he's not comfortable with his size yet. And once he, that's what those scouts look for out here is what's it going to be down the line. And once he gets used to his body and everything else, he looks like he's going to be very, very impressive.
Stan Widman is the new hitter for the West, taking over for Trevor Plouffe.
That's right, Jim. And the little known fact around the country anyway regarding Andy is he's a very talented athlete. He's a hockey player and a very good one, even though I think he may give that sport up here shortly. He's I don't know, he'd be pretty scary to me coming at me in the ring.
Oh yeah,
he's got a little Eric Lindros to him.
Exactly.
At that size, at 6'6". Here's Stan Widman, the pinch hitter from L.D. Bell High School in Hurst, Texas. And on the outside corner, another strikeout for Andy Gale. Show you this, his control on the outer half of the plate.
He's been very impressive so far. Right here, he rears back. Nice, strong fastball. That might have been a little outside, but hey, we give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been around the plate. And the 7 strikeouts so far. It's very, very impressive.
Luke French, 0 for 2 tonight. Inside to him.
Jerry, if I'm a college coach or I want to get some information from you guys, how do we do it?
Well, most of the college coaches out there, at least at the top schools.
What a pick, long throw, not in time by Chris Nelson.
Most of the top schools out there are all have our phone number, and they call us a lot, and asking questions about players, and often they're asking us a lot more about other things than their talent, because in most cases they've already seen the talent.
Good grades, good schooling.
Yeah, good grades, and what kind of makeup they have, and exactly. And most of the top programs are out there looking for not just the best players, but also the best students and the best people.
Right. And you put together a very good cast right here.
Steve Marquardt, I think both college coaches come to you looking for players. The professional ranks certainly benefit.
Yes, we're lucky to have a real good reputation with most of the big league teams, as well as the most all the top colleges in the country.
Well, Jerry, thanks so much. We find all this information invaluable. We've really enjoyed shaking the hands of these young men, the future great players of the national pastime.
Well, thank you.
7th inning stretch, and who better to lead us in a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game than our honorary chairman in Stan Musial. This was at the banquet a night ago, and Stan Musial on his harmonica.
Strikes are out of the
Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic tonight with Jim Leyritz. I'm Paul Kennedy. And America awaits, Jim, our Aflac trivia question this inning.
Aflac!
And I know you do too.
I want to see Yogi's commercial. I haven't seen Yogi's commercial yet.
Stan Musial was known as Stan the Man. What was his other nickname? He was saying that he was playing in a harmonica group in St. Louis. I don't know if it's musically related. That's the case. Can you imagine going to a weekend outing and there's Stan Musial and the harmonica entertaining? We've seen Matt Bush play shortstop, field well. We've seen him crack a 2-run home run. And to further offer his skills and his candidacy as the best player in America among rising seniors, he's going to take to the mound here as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning.
I tell you
he's
what,
got a cannon for an arm.
If I'm a scout right now, I'm salivating. There ain't no way that I pass this kid up. And the fact that he swings the bat well, plays one of the top positions at shortstop, and can throw the ball like he's throwing it. I mean, this kid has to be one of the top 2-3 picks in the country in 2004.
This just will reach the top of the dugout and give Chris Nelson a new life. So Matt Bush will face the top of the lineup too in the East, which is a blessing in disguise because he will get to show those here, our Fox Sports Net audience,
I think one of the
as well as those in the stadium, what he can do against the best.
Exactly, and I think one of the things that makes this kid even a little bit better, besides the talent that he has, he's got a little attitude. He's got a little kick in his step. He ain't afraid. Today he was the first kid to come up to me in the dugout and say, "Hey, Jim Leyritz, what's up, man?" You know, he's like, "Show me your stance, man. You have that funny stance." I mean, he was not afraid at all. And his coaches mentioned, that this kid has an attitude to play baseball. And I think, like I said, this kid has got to be one of the top picks coming here in 2004.
The offering to Nelson is in the dirt. I asked him which players he most admired, and he said they were shortstops like Garcia Parra and A-Rod and the like. And I said, why? And he said because of the class that they bring to the game. There's never any trouble away from the diamond. They're coat and tie guys. Oh, this is tagged deep to left. Nelson gives it a ride, and it's off the ball, a home run.
He's got a home run.
It hit the foul pole halfway up. As Chris Nelson will score for the 3rd time tonight. And that's his second base hit, his first home run of this game.
How about the irony of that? We got a guy on the mound who they think is a great shortstop and also a great pitcher. And now we have this guy, he also who hits a home run and also is noted as being one of the top pitchers in high school. Here it is, fastball, like I said. Nice swing right here. And one thing Frank Howard used to say, let that guy 60 feet 6 inches elevate you, son. Don't just put a good swing on it. Like you just put a very good swing on it right there.
That got out of here like a rocket. Dexter Fowler, infield hit back in the first, scored the game's 2nd run. Recall too that he, after striking out, beat the throw down to first and allowed Nelson to score. A hustle play by him a couple of innings ago that gave the East squad, decked out in gold tonight, the lead.
Exactly, ball in the dirt, strike 3, hustled all the way down the thing, made the catcher make a bad throw, and was able to get the 3rd run in, which gave him a 3-2 lead. And now they have a 4-2 lead with that home run. Matt Bush is throwing hard out there, but it's 92, 93 miles an hour, and I tell you, all you have to do is put a good swing on it. And he did that.
Pops this up on the right side, and Baranek, and the first base coaching backs, has it for the out. But Fowler and Nelson tonight have provided just about all the damage. All 4 runs have come from those two summer teammates from Georgia and the East Cobb Yankees.
I tell you, they say that East Cobb is one of the premier high schools and turns out some great talent. These 2 guys have done a great job of representing that school tonight.
Eric Campbell had a couple of shots over that left field wall in the home run hitting contest. 4 pitches out of Cecil. Cecil better get some ice on that shoulder. 4 pitches gone.
He threw a lot today, man, I tell you. He impressed me.
Campbell from Gibson Southern High School in the heartland of Indiana.
I tell you, as a scout, you got to wonder. It's going to be a tough choice what you want this kid to do when he throws like he does.
In Matt Bush.
He's got a pretty good makeup to him, like I said, and it'll be interesting to see which one he goes at. They may give him a year or 2 playing shortstop and see if he can hit. If he can't hit, they'll make that change right away.
Well, in the Pan Am Championships, not only did he represent the United States national junior team with better than the 300 average, but he also pitched a couple of scoreless innings, did Matt Bush.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's impressive. And I would have to think that those teams make those decisions for you. Sometimes you can't make them, but he did say his first desire is to be a shortstop. So we'll see what happens. But I will guarantee you that he will be one of the top picks in the country. He's just too good all around.
Well, he's wiry at 5'10", throwing better than 90 miles an hour. The park will hold this. Dunnigan make the play. But if you underestimate Matt Bush, just on first glance, you say he doesn't hit for power. Well, he does. He has a 2-run jack tonight. And his competitive fire, you see the serious look in his eyes right there. The fact that he can throw in the mid-90s at 5'10".
And like I said, he's a high school kid. He's a junior, or he's going into his senior year. He hasn't even had a chance to develop himself yet. And this kid is good. Like I said, he is definitely, he's got these scouts salivating here in the stands.
And Jared Kubin in from the left side, or rather right side. America's premier high school player. That may be the fact. I mean, the market will tell you that. For Major League Baseball come the draft in the spring.
Like I said, he is definitely going to be one of the top picks. It'd be crazy not to, unless something happens where he gets an injury or something. Knock on wood that doesn't happen. But he's bringing the ball up there, 92. That last pitch he threw was 94. I mean, that one was 92. I mean, this kid is impressive.
Jared Kubin has been very impressive this week as well. Tonight, looking for his first base hit. But highly recruited out of Northern Virginia. Son of a professional athlete. Dad played for the Redskins in the National Football League. Won a Super Bowl with Joe Gibbs. It's a great frame on him. He can drive the ball. One mistake from Matt here. Jared would really appreciate the opportunity to do just that.
Like you said, he's put together pretty well. He's got to have power potential-wise. He does have it. And like I said, Frank Howard told me, Jimmy, that boy 60 feet 6 inches elevates you. Just go ahead and put a good swing on it.
It's a chopper to third for Marquardt. He slings it over to first. The side's retired. But not before the East adds still another run on the home run off the foul pole by Chris Nelson. It's 4-2. We head to the 8th. Major League Baseball very well represented tonight. You see all the guns and the scouts that are out in force tonight. Fraternity of those who scout the games. Flag trivia question tonight. The Duck has not yet gotten an at-bat, but we can't guarantee that he won't come to the plate. And Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Stan Musial, known as Stan the Man, had another nickname, Jim Leyritz.
I got to go with the Hitman.
The Denora Greyhound from Denora, Pennsylvania. How about that?
All right. Can we?
Denora Greyhound.
I can't figure that one out.
But he's from Denora. You know, his dad, when he was 17, these kids' age, didn't want him to sign and refused to sign the contract when he was drafted. Wanted him to go to college, and his mom talked his dad into letting him go ahead and sign. He started in Class C, and 2 years later was the National League MVP. So mom had a pretty good take on things. Here's Mark Rogers.
Women's intuition.
From Orr's Island, Maine. And swung on and missed by the West's Andy Lentz.
Another one of these two position athletes right here, pitcher and position player. I tell you, it's amazing, these kids, the way they throw the ball.
A book on Lentz, as you see, big Omar Washington. Cecil was he backstabbing to say his back was so big and call it a billboard?
Yeah, I did notice they have it on the front, which might be a little bit bigger.
He, of course, was a wonderful baseball player in his playing days, professionally drafted. He lives in the Dallas area now. He's got a heart of gold, Omar Washington.
He was one of the better relief pitchers, exactly. He's got a great sense of humor. We had some fun with those guys last night.
Slow roller to third. Up and throwing just in time. Nice play over there.
Cecil mentioned to us earlier, they could put it on his back, the Aflac sign on his back, to make a little better billboard.
That's Brad Amos, who was beamed earlier. Crack of the helmet off the bill. He's gotten up and looks to be just fine. Nice play. Very slick.
Yeah, gets around the ball nicely, comes around it, makes a little one-hand play, throw on the run. And like I said, these kids are very, very well skilled at this level. And I've been impressed, like I said, both with the defense and the pitching.
A right-hander with off speed, offering that bends Golson back, the breaking pitch. Now Rogers will throw in the mid-90s, and he's got a curve that's somewhat atypical, and certainly his changes. He throws a two-seam change here, Jimmy. It's almost a splitter.
Yeah, it's a little different pitch. We could probably get a couple looks at it here.
It's got some downward action to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's almost like a palm ball, where it has some dip to it.
A piece of that.
Hey, these guys, one thing that's impressed me with each one of these kids that stepped on the mound, besides the physical ability they have, is their presence on the mound and the confidence they have throwing the ball. That's a huge thing. These guys are sitting here in the stands watching and looking for that. Every one of these kids has been very impressive.
West down a couple of runs, and this one is lined into left. A base hit for Greg Golson with one out.
I'd say there's a pretty good chance, too. We're going to see this guy try to steal the base here. Another down 4-2, but we're here to showcase these kids and show what they can do. And we mentioned that Golson is a five-tool athlete, and I'd have to say if I was a coach, I'd put him on the run here.
Neil Walker, the catcher, as well as the pitcher now, Mark Rogers, has to be aware of that. And from the belt. He held it first, not going this time.
And anytime a kid wears white spikes, he's got to steal.
Trevor Plouffe takes over for Matt Bush. There's free substitution here now that Bush is pitching. Plouffe re-enters the game. And DHs and chops it foul. Runner was going that time. Golson, we might tell you, if we have stated it earlier, as Plouffe steps in. Golson off first. His brother attends Annapolis, where he was a starting free safety. Midshipmen's football team. Athletic lineage, Golson family.
Yep, another good athlete. That's what I'm saying. Good bloodlines right there. Anytime you can play free safety, you got to be strong. You got to be agile, and he seems to have the same kind of build, same type of body.
And Cecil Espy down at third. I think the sign would be run if you can, and he is going. The pitch looked to be a strike. The throw is wide, and he's going to keep running. Golson headed toward third, and he'll pull up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have an earpiece on Cecil Espy. He did make him steal, like we did mention. But, I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Here's the throw that gets away from Neil Walker.
That's a tough pitch right there, pitching the dirt a little bit. He tried to come and make a quick throw to try to make up for the big jump he had, and just the ball had a little bit of tail to it. Tailed out in the outfield.
The first error of the night. It'll be charged to Walker. First error for the East in this game that allows Golson to reach third. And the count's a ball and a strike with one out. Anything out of the infield on the part of Plouffe here. Get a run home to the West, which is down 2, as you see, 4-2.
Oh yeah, I think Walker also might be getting a little bit tired. He's the only weren't allowed to play. And, there was 2 other catchers from Florida that didn't get the opportunity to play in this game. But 8 innings of not knowing your pitchers. It's a battle out there. He may be getting a little tired.
So Trevor Plouffe from Crespi High School in Northridge, California, against the right-hander in Rogers. And he's worked him full at 3-2. The infield is in for a play at the plate on Golson. Up on the edge of the lip, the infield grass.
As a hitter here, you're trying to look for a ball up in the zone right here, so you can hit a sacrifice. Oh, the infielders are going back now. So we'll let me give up the 1 run.
And the payoff.
Ouch.
Foul tipped. And did he hold on to it? No, doesn't appear so.
That's one of those. That's when you always sit in the dugout and somebody's yelling at you. So you want to be a catcher, huh? Those are the tools of ignorance, they say. And trust me, from experience, that hurts. You got it probably right on the inner thigh.
And Neil Walker, because of the players, ruled unable to participate from Florida and Tennessee. They had other catchers.
No, don't look up here, guys. I can't go down there and catch. I'm sorry. I'm too old for that now.
Now behind the plate for the East, Jim Leyritz. Why not? Because the Walkers had to go all 9. And no good deed goes unpunished for Walker's effort, huh?
Exactly.
And the fraternity of those behind the plate. Dave Schmidt, the home plate umpire, will give him all the time that he needs. The hurler here, Mark Rogers, who was 11-1 in his junior year just concluded with an ERA of .16. And the lineup is in the dirt, and he has lost the hitter in Trevor Plouffe.
Good job, though, right there. That tells you right there how tough catchers really are. I like to see that. The ball's in the dirt. You just got hit. You just got hit in the thigh. The ball's going to be right here in the dirt, and you're still willing to sacrifice that body to keep that runner from scoring. Very good job. Just like we teach it right there. Just get your knees down and get yourself, block the ball. Whenever there's a runner on third base, you have to block that ball. He did a good job right there.
Runners at the corner now. And a check swing and goes to Dunnigan. Pulls back. Dunnigan now, who possesses the power to put the West in front. Runner breaking from first, swinging to protect him, and the throw down is clearly not in time. And now you have a tying run standing 180 feet away.
They said Cecil told us he was going to try to mount a rally for us to get his team a couple runs, and they're putting the guys in motion.
One out.
The guys in motion, then base hit right here has a good chance of tying this ball game up.
First base open, Dunnigan. What a defensive swing. And he's called out. But that was a fair ball.
Yeah, he didn't. No, he didn't check a swing right there. He did commit to that ball, and he caught his strike three right there.
That's a big out there.
Oh yeah.
Second out.
Second out. Now you got an opportunity.
Now
you got an opportunity right here to maybe pitch this guy a little more carefully than you would under normal circumstances.
Another look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Baranek, who has fanned all 3 times at the plate tonight.
Well, we mentioned the kid hasn't had a chance to play a whole lot of baseball this year because of his mononucleosis, and he's probably a little bit. He's a lot further behind than most of these kids, but he's up there battling.
1-0. That gets past the catcher, wild pitch, and scooting home is Golson. It's 4-3.
You got 90 feet away from a tie ball game here.
Down to third goes Plouffe.
This time he just kind of rears back towards the fastball. Like we mentioned, some of these kids have such strong arms that they tend to be a little bit wild. That one he just lost control of it, threw it, and catcher did all he could to try to stop it. But that's the kind of pitch you can't get to.
So Baranek now with an opportunity to tie the game in the late stages. And that crashed hard against the plexiglass behind home plate.
Yeah, nice cut right there. Fouled the ball straight back, and he's starting to get his timing down a little. And he's still ahead in the count 2-1, and should be aggressive again right here for another fastball.
That's 6-5. Strapping. Right box. And the breaking pitch is over.
Right on cue, he throws a curveball. That's called American League pitching right there.
Some would say he's a lot like Brett Myers of Philadelphia in that other league, National League. Mark Rogers. That's inside.
That's a good comparison. Brett Myers is a very impressive young pitcher, and this kid, like I said, he's been pretty impressive so far tonight.
Hey, best pitch right here. Come on now, best pitch.
Best pitch to Tyler Baranek. Fastball up, swung on and missed, and they'll leave that run stranded 90 feet away. It's 4-3 though. We go to the bottom of the 8th in this inaugural AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. With Jim Leyritz, I'm Paul Kennedy. We're in the latter stages of this very first AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. Fall is upon us and college football comes your way with College Football Saturday, presented by Casera. That returns next week with a full slate of games from the Big 12 and the Pac-10. Our coverage begins next Saturday. We'll kick it off at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 on the West Coast, only on Fox Sports Net. Chuck Lofgren, we've seen him at the plate, now back on the hill as these multi-skilled stars have an opportunity to showcase their wares. One of the United States' very best two-way prospects And a perfect 8-0 on the season with that ERA a shade better than just a single run. And he hit close to 500 to earn, among all juniors playing, Jim, in the state of California, their junior year Player of the Year award.
That's impressive, very impressive. California turns out some of the best high school athletes, and it's a lot like being the Florida Player of the Year. These kids live and die baseball, and to be named that, he's got to be a pretty special kid.
Yeah, and pretty special to pitch on a staff. We've seen Homer Bailey, Ken Kasparek tonight, Eric Davis, who was outstanding, Javier Guerra, trying to figure out if that's a balk or not.
Yeah,
Guerra with
figure that one out.
Troy Patton, Matt Bush, and now Chuck Lofgren. So we've seen a lot of talent on display.
And like I said, none of these kids have disappointed either. They've gone out there, they're throwing the ball well, and I think also the fact that we're using wooden bats. I was talking to Coach Roberts earlier, and he was mentioning, you don't see 15 to 14 games like you do in the high school games. These games you see a lot of one-run ball games, a lot of things like that, and that's what we're seeing tonight. Pitching is dominating.
The one and only catcher that the E squad has in uniform tonight. And Walker, half-hearted swing and hustles down to first, one gone. So the first strikeout of this game for Chuck Lofgren from Junipero Serra High School in Burlingame, California. Again, it's 6'3", 190. Very strong, talented. This is the same high school in Burlingame, and I thought I was right here. Just wanted to check that Barry Bonds attended. That Lofgren is at now. Greg Jeffries was there as well. And here's Brad Emus, steps in.
Two guys with very nice major league careers.
Lynn Swan, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, also went to Serra High School, Junipero Serra High School in Burlingame.
So you got to figure they have a pretty good sports program there.
I'd like to see the trophy case.
Yeah, exactly.
There,
Exactly. A lot of retired jerseys.
And Chuck running out of numbers, and by the looks of things, Chuck Lofgren very proud of his high school. Brad Emus ought to be proud of the effort that he's put forth tonight. That slick fielding effort an inning ago after being beamed tonight.
Yeah, he showed me some guts there. He got beamed earlier, got up right away, got on the bases, and made a nice play out there at shortstop the last inning.
He plays on the Yankees, and he and Nelson have played close to 200 games together as a middle infield combination over the past couple of summers.
Yeah, that's definitely a big advantage to know who you're working with, know who you're playing with, and who's ever coaching them has got two pretty talented kids.
Yeah,
got to
really
be pretty
nice.
happy.
So he's a boy.
Well, I think they need to pad their lead a little bit here. The East is try to put a couple more points up here on the board and try to pad that lead a little bit more.
Here's Anthony Russell, the third baseman. Reached once tonight. 1 for 3. Fastball to him for a strike out of Lofgren. He was throwing Lofgren in the 90s when he was 15.
That's impressive. I thought the other thing that impresses me, and I'm sitting here thinking about it, these kids have been up since 7:30 this morning. And that's what maybe a lot of people out there don't realize. These kids have had a whole practice. It's close to a balk.
Absolutely. In fact, it was a balk.
Okay.
That right foot was at a 45-degree angle toward first rather than being directed toward the bat.
Exactly. He started going towards home plate here. But these kids have, like I said, been up since 7:30 this morning. They were in their banquet last night till I think 10:30. These kids have had a long week here, and to be able to go out here and here it is, a windup. Right here, you see a little bit too much towards home.
Big insurance run standing at second base. Swung on a miss by Russell.
Actually, by that replay, what he may have done is his foot may have crossed the rubber. His front foot may have crossed the rubber, and then he once it crosses the rubber, you have to go home. And I think that's what he did on that balk right there.
And now from the belt with the runner in Emus off second base. The 0-2. Grounded to third. Marquardt. A look to the runner, back to second base, and a nice throw over. It's 2 away.
Good solid defense again. These pitchers are getting the ground balls, and the guys are making the plays behind them.
Kennewick, Washington, Stephen Marquardt. And obviously those scouts in the College coaches here recruiting, looking not only at offense, but the poise with which Marquardt have his head about him.
Yeah, he made a nice play, looked the runner back, made sure he wasn't coming over there, and then made a nice throw to first base.
Mark Rogers on the hill. Mark Rogers at the plate. The fastball is just inside. So how many of these young men, Jim, and again, we have been told it could be as many as 10. How many of these young men are in 5-6 years playing professionally? Just about every young man in this game tonight.
I tell you, yeah, I can't imagine many of these kids not being in minor league ball within the next 2 to 3 years with a chance to get to the major leagues. They're all, like I said, they've all been very impressive. They've all been, they've all lived up to their billing as far as the scouting reports and everything that's been said on them. And you just don't see this kind of talent put together too often.
Rogers waits on it, and that's a strike at the letters. Mark had a surrealistic batting average this year at Maine. And to win that state's Player of the Year average, he hit .565.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's
wherever
impressive.
you're playing.
Exactly.
And delayed steal, throw down, not in time.
Caught somebody sleeping right there.
Brad Amos, he gets to second on the walk, and here the delayed steal. He's standing at third. His squad's only up a run.
Yeah, I mentioned
in the bottom of the 8th.
They may try to put another run on the board, and they're staying aggressive. They saw something out there in his windup or something that gave it away, and he was able to steal the base. Caught the catcher sleeping a little bit.
And the pitch high and away. It's 3-2 to Mark Rogers. Chuck Lofgren, left-hander, one of 2 left-handers we have seen tonight.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, Paul, I don't see any of these. Yep.
Wild pitch. We'll get another run home.
There's another insurance run right there. That's what we talked about.
5-3.
But like you mentioned, I think these kids, out of all these kids here, you're definitely going to see every one of these kids playing in college. And more than likely, you're going to see these kids someday sign a minor league contract and have an opportunity to get to the big leagues, because this is a great array of talent.
And we are talking about, and not to be crass on the business side of this, but there are young men in this game tonight that are less than, let's say 9 months away from dealing in the realm of millions of dollars. And to be quite honest with you, there are very few of us that deal in those realms.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you just hope that they have a good home base. And one of the guys I've really looked at throughout my major leagues career was Derek Jeter, how he's handled all his success. And a kid coming right out of high school and doing that. And, he had a very good home base that helped him out. And it's important for these kids to watch out for some of these agents that are out there. Make sure you surround yourself with good people, because you can, like you said, they're coming into millions and millions of dollars. And you never know how it's going to wind up.
Yeah, the man on the hill right now, and Lofgren, Rainville at the plate, a hurler as well. First round selection, and he's wire transferred $4 million when he signs a contract. So this is a very serious business for them tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean this is, these kids, when you see that this level at high school, at this level, these kids want to play baseball. They want to get to the next level. They want to get to the major leagues, and they're going to be coming into a lot of money and a lot of things. The first time getting away from home, being away from mom and dad, it's a tough transition. That's what you hope they have a good solid base.
One more run without benefit of a hit. A walk, a balk, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. It's now 5-3. We go to the 9th. During the company of Jim Leyritz, I'm Paul Kennedy. We go to the 9th tonight in this inaugural AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic, and pitching has been dominant. Nick Aidenhart tonight, 5 strikeouts. Jay Rainville, big night with 5 as well. Saw Andy Gale come out firing gas, and Mark Rogers from Orr's Island, Maine, a part of what's been a remarkable showing by the East pitching staff tonight. Do the math on that. 16 strikeouts in all.
I tell you, it's impressive. It's one of those things when you get these reports and you see these things and you hear them talk about it, you question it. And what we've seen tonight is these kids do throw the ball. Now Jerry Ford told us that, 30 of the top nation right now of high school players are pitchers, or 28 of the top 30 are pitchers, and we're seeing that tonight.
We certainly are. As we go to the top of the 9th, On to try and close it out, Mark Rogers, and that is a fair ball right over the bag. Here comes David Armstrong digging for second. He'll be in with an extra base hit to open up the top of the ninth. His squad is down 2 runs, 5-3.
It's never over till that fat lady sings, and she's not singing yet.
How big was that run an inning ago? They picked up on the wild pitch. Here it comes again, right over the bag.
Yep. Fastball down and in. Nice swing right here. Just kept his hands inside the ball, didn't hook it, and right over the third base bag, and that was very, very close, but it went over the bag.
Him at second, Stan Widman looks at his strike. Widman will be followed tonight by Luke French. The lower half of the order bats for the West squad. Down a pair. And against a 16 strikeout performance collectively by the East, are in goal tonight, that pitching staff, they've still managed to bang out 5 hits. There is Rogers. In that ERA this year, 0.16.
Well, I think, it's one of those things that I'll tell you from playing, that when you haven't seen a pitcher before, you haven't faced a guy, the pitcher definitely has an advantage over the hitter. And once you get, and these guys haven't seen these kids before. We're seeing that tonight, and that's why the pitching is dominating.
He threw 1 no-hitter, 5 one-hit efforts this year out of Mark Rogers. And he just blew smoke there past Stan Widman. That's the 17th strikeout.
Yeah, he knows he's getting towards the end right here. He's reaching back, getting a little extra. He's able to, like I said, we're getting late in the innings. He knows this could be it. Rare's back. Good fastball, just blew it right by him.
A left-hander in, and Luke French 1 for 3 tonight with an infield hit for Luke. And the first pitch to him, the breaking pitch outside, leaves off the plate. From Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado, the ball carries out there.
Oh yeah, that's a light air out there. Carries very well.
Rogers with a check of the runner. That's fastball for a strike. So this game, as we heard from Catherine Silver, saying that it will move around the country, all 4 parts of the United States, perhaps in the Midwest. AFLAC in it for the first time this year. They've been wonderful sponsors, as has Baseball America and Perfect Game, Jerry Ford's evaluation organization. In the Gulf Coast, Lee County, here on the island coast that you see on your screen, have been great hosts to these young men, and the likes of Stan Musial this week.
They put on an amazing event, and like I said, just to be here to be a part of it it's been great. And I think this is an event that's going to really, over the next couple of years, really be one of the biggest high school events, baseball-wise, to take place. It's going to be right up there with, I think, with the McDonald's All-American.
The American Family Life Assurance Corporation out of Columbus, Georgia, also known as AFLAC.
AFLAC.
Wonderful group of people. Al Johnson on with us earlier tonight. It's off the plate. Now runners at the corner. The tying run is aboard. And the go-ahead run will come to the plate in Stephen Marquardt. You didn't want to allow Luke French to walk, and you saw the wild pitch that got Dave Armstrong down to third. So it gets interesting here. Down to just 2 outs for the West squad.
Yep, here it is right here. They do have good guys in scoring position. I'll be interested to see that. I don't think they're going to try to steal it here. I think they're going to let him swing the bat. But it's going to come down to a home run right now. Changes the game.
Out of the part of Marquardt, capable with power of delivering an extra base hit. They need to. As Rogers works, and the big curve for a strike.
He's got to hit 0-2 now right here. He's looking for the ground ball, hopefully to get the double play, but at the same time, he'll take the strikeout just as well.
A change of pitches with command. Tug on that baseball cap for Mark. And pitches Steve Marquardt from Kennewick, Washington. Swung out and missed.
Overpowering fastball right there. He's been very impressive. He knows it's the last inning right here, and he can reach back and get a little extra. He did it for the first strikeout. Same thing right there. Not a strike, but you know what? He came right at him. Yeah, like I said, these kids are very, very impressive in how hard they can throw the ball.
That's the 18th strikeout by the staff tonight, and the 4th for Mark Rogers. 18 strikeouts against this caliber of opposition. High and tight to Andy Lentz.
And that's the impressive thing. These guys aren't pushovers. These position players are not pushovers, and these kids are going out there and they are truly dominating this game.
So Rogers from Maine, Andy Lentz from the state of Washington, Woodinville, Washington. They span both sides of the United States competing here tonight. And that was grounded just foul. Just foul. Well, they thought it was over the bag fair, but by inches. And that would have tied this game.
That was close. It definitely was foul, but that was close.
You be the judge.
There it is. No, that's definitely foul. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, though, that ball does stay fair. We got ourselves a tie ball game.
Jared Rubin guarding the line. Ended up burying the first base bag. A diving effort. Cecil Espy trying to get those 2 runs home. David Armstrong off third. Luke French stands at first, and the 1-1 on the way to Andy Lentz. It's 2-1. A couple of years ago, Andy Lentz and Woodinville High School won the state championship in Washington. They were ranked 12th in the nation this year for Coach Terry Agnew. Andy Lentz is familiar with success in this game.
And same thing right here. Comes from some good bloodlines. His father was a 2nd-round pick in the Major League Draft, and so you know he's got some baseball knowledge.
He hit .389 this year for Woodinville. What he'd give for a hit here. It's 2-2 with 2 gone. Down to their final out, 2 aboard, trailing by 2. Rogers with the kick and the pitch. Check swing. And we go full at 3-2.
No, he checked the swing there. Good call by the umpire.
Back to the rosin bag for Rogers. Well, what's his coach, Mike Roberts, say in this situation? Throw your best pitch.
Throw your best pitch, that's right. Rear back and let it go.
Looks to be a fastball. Does he bring the heat? Yes, he does. Ball game's over. Called strike 3, the 19th strikeout of the night, and the 5th for Rogers. 19 by 1 pitching staff.
Well, if it was going to end that way, that's the way we should have ended. These guys have been dominated all night, and they went ahead and closed the game out with a strikeout just like they had all night.
A classic pitching performance by 5 of the finest pitchers in all the nation. Well, the big blast tonight, Trevor Bush with that 2-run home run. He has received the play of the game as presented by Baseball America and Catherine Silver. And time now to honor our most valuable player. There are a number of candidates tonight.
Now I'd like to present the most valuable player to tonight's FLASHBACK All-American High School Baseball Classic game. With 1 home run and scoring to himself, Chris Nelson.
So Chris Nelson with that blast here, Jimmy, in the 7th. The line shot off the foul pole. He scored 3 times tonight. 3 of the 5 runs for his squad in this 5-3 win. He is the inaugural AFLAC MVP. What a talent.
Yeah, he put on a tremendous performance tonight, and both offensively and defensively, and definitely deserving of the run, scoring 3 runs, hitting a big home run. Definitely deserving.
Just remember these days, I think it was Stan Musial who said last night at the banquet that you will find later in life your best years are your years spent playing as a high school youngster, playing this great game of baseball.
Oh, exactly. And winning this type of award is a great honor for him, especially being the first one. And that's something he'll always remember.
Jimmy will always remember this. Thanks so much, buddy. I enjoyed sitting here with you.
Oh, I enjoyed it myself. Thank you.
And as we leave you, what could be more All-American than the game of baseball or a spectacular late summer fireworks show? forget, next weekend on Fox Sports Net, College Football Saturday, presented by Casera at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific Time. Special thanks to the Fort Myers Miracle, the Lee County Sports Authority, Perfect Game USA, Baseball America, Sports America, and each and every one of the sponsors. Everyone involved in this inaugural AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Classic. It's truly been a night to remember. For the Yankee World Series hero, Jim Leyritz, I'm Paul Kennedy saying good evening from Fort Myers, Florida.